Beautiful Insanity of the Souls. Part 6. Adrian, it doesn't really matter. I don't really care who plays the lead role. I will see where it takes me. But I don't know about interviewing real people in a film. You know, the lead actor might have to ask a couple of college students, models, and actress some intimate questions like Harry Met Sally. But I doubt it they share intimate detail about their sexual lives. Kate, Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. Girls love to talk about sex contrary to conventional wisdom. But what's beautiful game about? You talked about it in Cigarette. I am big fan of Cristiano Ronaldo. I met him. Do you have the complete screenplay? Adrian, just the plot. I might work on it when I get free time. Kate, tell me from the beginning. Adrian, the movie set in near future. Chris, played by Cristiano Ronaldo, has passed his prime. Not only injury has slowed him down, but he is also at age where a lot of professional soccer players retire. But the love of the game would not allow him to quit yet. Currently, he plays for LA Galaxies in MLS. But new MLS Commissioner Justin passes new agenda to rebuild USA soccer program from scratch with $32 billion of his own money and other investors to make MLS more competitive than Premier League. So he signs a lot of young players from Europe and around the world and makes sure young players get a lot playing time on the pitch, which forced indirectly old professional soccer players who came to USA after they passed their prime to quit or retire. Chris might have to retire as well. It's a matter of time. The coach has already put him on the bench since the new agenda enforced. Chris has thought about giving up soccer and pursuing acting in Hollywood. He still can play in Japan and Turkey. According to his agent, they have showed a lot of interest in him. Even a couple of American teams at the bottom of the table want him to fill a stadium. But Chris knows as much as he loves the games, he has no desire to play neither Japan nor Turkey or for bad America teams. It's not because of the culture or the level of competition or the desire to win title. But he has been lying to himself. Injury is bothering him. His mind and heart want to go out and continue to do what they love to do, dribbling and running like a child, but his body has betrayed him. Getting up in the morning feels like hell due to the injuries that he has sustained throughout his career. Walking is prison. Practice is a death sentence. It's unthinkable. He just wants to play without training. He still loves the game more than anything. Chris gives his 100% in the pitch regardless of what. But it's not enough compared to the pace of the game. It is fast. Chris can't offer to stand on the pitch and look confused or lost, has to get back defense, catch up with younger players, chase the ball as if his life depends on it, and attack like lion pride that master the art of hunting. Besides, Chris does not feel as young as the Americans. They train hard. They run harder. They fight the hardest. They hustle like bullies. They are extremely physical. They want to win it by any means necessary, speed, force, kicking, boxing, hard work, etc. They won't quit till the last whistle blow. The games has changed a lot. He can't go fist fight with them. Even though he had been red carded few times for punching and kicking a couple of restless America players getting into his nerves, tackling and marking him and all. Later, the coach and the general manager call Chris and tells him they will not resign him. He is a free agent. Chris knows that was coming. He is not surprised at all. In the meantime, his agents and sport doctors and the manager sit and talk about a new drug called CRT that is approved by International Sport Governing Organization, but they can only test it in only one professional athlete, and document the result within the next 5 years to see the drug is effective. They choose Chris. Based on that, Los Angeles Galaxies agree to extend his contract $60 million for the next 5 years, $11 million per year. He asks them what this drug do. They tell him the brain is the ultimate resources of power, energy, strength, stamina, and mend. The drug allows the brain to produce certain chemicals naturally, which can block pain, heal injury, increase strength and stamina. He takes the drug, starts running like a teenager and scores 3 goals. Everybody says what is going on. Next few games he just takes the game over single-handedly. They cannot tackle him. They cannot keep up with him. They cannot do anything against him. He is supposed to be 34 thinking about retiring. But he is playing like an alien out of space. He scores 36 goals in a month. It's a record. Something supernatural is in the work. Following that month, he plays like Superman and scores a lot of goals. Sport magazine talk about him everywhere. Is he in drug? The sport doctors haven't told to anybody. They have kept it in secret. Why should they tell anyone? As long as things are not going out of proportion, they don't have to say anything. They are not doing anything illegal. Chris just says no comment and continues to perform at a supernatural level like God. He scores 6 goals versus New York, the best team. Now it's time to tell the truth. They have a press conference. The doctors admits Chris is talking CTI and explain them what CTI is. But it's experiment. They only pick Chris to conduct the experiment. In the meantime, media continue to question whether it's fair or not. As long as there is no side effect, why isn't the drug available to others? If one person takes a drug and plays like an alien from space, where is going to leave the rest of the players in the game of soccer itself? It must be accessible to all. It makes sense. Media can only bring attention to fans and sporting governors. However, there is nothing they can do about it. It is controlled by the Prince of Darkness himself, figuratively speaking. It could easily be $1 trillion business, as one journalist puts it down. Sport will never be the same again. To get the media off their back, they tell them they are planning to make the drug available to all athletes within 2 years. It's up to Chris to go out and perform at the highest level and change the game forever. In the meantime, Chris is in a relationship with a professional tennis player named Nadia, played by Cigarette. She is always in tour. He is traveling around with the team. Their relationship has been strained due to traveling and distance. Phone calls don't always curb their enthusiasm. They are both passionate. They thrive on the physical aspect of love. They met at ESPN award show at a party in Los Angeles. They have been dating for a while. She just suffered a shoulder injury, which gives her time to spend time with Chris. They make love every chance they get. He is addicted to her. She is addicted to him. But in the meantime, Nadia is not sure about the drug. They talk about it. She tells him if it's a good idea to take the drug. The sex is good and amazing. But she might want to have a baby someday. Won't that affect the baby neurologically? Chris knows what Nadia is trying to say and tells her that they will adapt if she wants a baby. Nadia tells him she wants a baby of her own. Chris says they have to take a chance. This is the best thing has ever happened to him. He's doing what he loves to do. Chris has never been animated in his life like how he feels now since he was a kid. They kiss and make love all night. Then comes a news. The Los Angeles Galaxies trade him to AC Milan $240 million in a blockbuster deal. They quadruple what they invest on him. Nadia tells him American is her home. She gets phobias and might suffer nerves breakdown if she has to live anywhere but USA. It's only for a tennis match. She is not going to move to Italy and adopt new culture. She won't do it. Chris tells her that how things are done with professional soccer players. They make deal with the devil. When they think they are happy and find home, the Prince of Darkness then trades them. It's business. Chris promises her she will like it. Milan is the capital city of fashion. Nadia tells him she has to take care of her shoulder first and will come and join him sometime later. In Italy, it doesn't take time for Chris to make an impact. In his AC Milan debut, he scores 4 goals and has an assist 5-2 win versus their rival Juventus. AC Milan fans go frenzy. Millions celebrate in the streets of Milan as if they won a championship game, but they are just happy, because the team signed Chris, and he scored 4 breathtaking goals. The media continue to knock him down. They say his performance is influenced by drug. Chris is fake. He should be ashamed on himself. The fans don't care. They just want to win. Chris can't be stopped, scores all kinds of goals with his right foot, left foot, header, spectacular kicks in the air and leads AC Milan on top of Serie A. He becomes the talk of the sport world. He is on covers of every sport magazines as he God or the devil. But it does not matter. Chris continues to perform at highest level possible. He scores 4 goals versus Barcelona, the second best team in the world, at the Champions League final and wins MVP. Later, at the AC Milan party to honor Roberto Maldini, Chris meets Italian actress named Maria. She seduces him with her eyes all night. As he's about to leave, Chris sees Maria outside. She has been waiting for him, sitting on her limo. Maria offers him a ride. Chris gets in the limo. She asks him if he speaks Italian. Chris tells her not a lot. He is learning. Maria asks him what he likes and hates. Chris tells her that he likes football more than life itself. He also likes American films. She asks him if he likes Italian films. Chris says they are all right. She asks him what he hate. He hates Italian defenders. They are the meanest, always try to break his legs. Maria then asks him if he want to take a walk in Milan Park. Chris says, sure, why not? They talk a walk conversing about football, music and arts and films. Mary tells him she was once engaged to a famous soccer player but she ran away a day before the wedding. She thought she was too young to get married and wanted to have fun. She has no regret. Chris tells her he is in relationship with Nadia. She then asks him if he wants to visit the Museum of La Scala. Chris asks her isn't it close? Maria tells him they will open it for her. They come to the museum. The guards know Maria. They let them in. Chris and Lydia look at a couple of interesting paintings, then come to the Cathedral of Milan. Lydia asks him if he believes in God. Chris tells her he believes in God. He is nothing without his faith. God has always watched him and kept him out of harm. Maria asks him if he mind making love to her in the church. Chris seems uncomfortable. He thinks she is a demon. Maria tells him that she is joking. They get in confession box and confess their sins to each other. Chris and Nadia are having a lot of fun. They then come to a beautiful blues bar. To Chris' surprise, she has already reserved seats for them at VIP sections. They listen to live music. He doesn't drink. She has whiskey. She tells him that this is the best night of her life. He tells her that he had time of his life as well. Maria invites him to her house. She told him, I'd like to cook for you the best Italian pasta in the world. They come to her villa, cook together, then dance, kiss and make love. Next, Chris and Maria are all over the tabloids. The paparazzi has secretly photographed them. Are they dating? Chris denies it. Maria and I are just friend. She says nothing happened. In the meantime, the news gets to Nadia. She flies to Milan and confronts him. Chris tells her there is nothing between me and Maria. It's a lie. I wouldn't do anything that upset you. I love you. Nadia believes him. They kiss and make love for hours. Later, Chris and Nadia sit in the bathtub. She tells him that her shoulder continues to bother her. The doctor said she might need surgery, but she doesn't want to go through knife. Chris tells her whatever decision she makes, he will support her. Nadia says she just needs to take a break from the game of tennis and see how her shoulder is holding. She will take 6 months break. While doing so, she will cheer him in the stadium. Chris tells her he needs her more than ever. They kiss and make love in round candlelight. Later, Chris continues to take the soccer world by storm. He dominates the game single-handedly as Nadia watches him in the stadium. She is his biggest fan. AC Milan wins another Champions League, trashing Real Madrid 6-0. Chris scores 5 goals. They also win Serie A title. Chris finishes 139 goals. It's unheard. AC Milan continue to win everything. They are unbeaten since Christian arrived at the San Siro. They become the force of nature. The media says only aliens from outer space can only beat them. Chris becomes more popular than movie stars. Actually, he is the biggest superstar in the world. Paparazzi follow him everywhere he goes and photograph him. He is always in the cover of all kinds of sport and fashion magazines. GQ already names him Man of the Century. Then comes a sex tape of Chris and Maria that she secretly recorded. It's all over in the internet and tabloid and magazines. Nadia doesn't know what's going on and tells him that he lied to her. Chris tells her he can explain. But how is he going to explain? He's caught. Nadia asks him, do you have a twin brother? Chris admits he made a mistake and tells her, I am sorry. It won't happen again. Nadia says she doesn't care about that, he made a mistake but he lied to her face. She doesn't know how many girls that he fucked and lied about it. Chris tells her that's the only time. He is sorry the bottom of his heart. Nadia says she doesn't want to see him anymore and walks away. Chris is upset. Not only Nadia left him but he also felt cheated. Maria didn't tell him that she was recording the sex and he had no idea that she was filming. Later, Maria secretly comes to AC Milan training facility to have few words with him. Chris asks her why she did that. Maria tells him she's in love with him, did what she has to do to get rid of Nadia, and hates competition. She kisses him seductively. Chris still has a feeling for her. That was the best sex of his life. They fucked all night with various sexual positions. The media levels it, the best amateur porn ever. It didn't really help his cause. He lost the love of his life. Yet no one can doubt Maria is out of this world. She looks like young Monica Bellucci and extremely seductive. It is hard to describe her beauty. She has astonishing sexual energy. Maria removes her clothes and tells Chris to make love to her. Chris tells her she is sick. He doesn't want to see her again. Maria tells him she is nymphomaniac. That is her sin. Nadia brings out his demons. He kisses her lips. They have a passionate sexual intercourse. He fucks her till she can't feel the beat of her heart. It's raw sex. He comes inside her and tells her that he doesn't want to see her anymore. She knows it. Nobody has ever fucked her like that before. She will not walk properly again, can still feel the hair standing on the back of her neck, and leaves quietly. Chris continues to change the game of soccer forever, can't be contained, trains hard, plays with passion more than ever, and dedicates every goal that he scores to Nadia. He tries to call her but she won't answer, and when they interview him, he uses that opportunity to tells Nadia how sorry he is, and how much he loves her. All of this means nothing without her. But Nadia never responds. He sends her roses every day. She just throws them away. Later, Chris tells her that he will score 3 goals each game for the next 14 matches. So he can speak to her. The next 13 games, Chris scores 39 goals as if he were playing with kids. He then scores 2 more goals, the last goal comes in the dying minutes. It's spectacular. He dribbles 4 players and passes the ball to a winger. The winger waits a little bit and crosses the ball. Chris doesn't even see the ball but knows where it's going to be, gets up in the air, spins 392 in the air, hits the ball bicycle kick and scores. Everybody says wow. It doesn't matter if it is the drug or not. Nobody ever scored that kind of goal, even attempted. It's breathtaking. Everywhere, TV stations stop what they are showing and play the highlight. People are blown away. Nadia watches it as well. In the interview, Chris says he doesn't care how spectacular the goal was, just wanted to speak to his sweetheart, and had already promised her that he would score 3 goals the next 14 games, that was goal number 42. Time was running out. He just got up in the air and hit the ball, didn't even know where the ball was. It was kismet. Chris saw it ahead of time. Luckily, the ball found the net. The journalist gives him his cell phone and tells him he should give her a call. Nadia answers but she says nothing. Chris tells her he loves her and asks her to give him another chance. She just hangs up the phone. In the meantime, there is a doorbell. Nadia opens the door. It's a rose from Chris. She accepts it and reads the note. Her eyes fills with tears. She closes her eyelids. Tears falls down by her cheeks. Later, controversy continues to circle about the drug. Is it fair? Regardless, after a close review, Chris is awarded Golden Boot. Chris also receives Ballon d'Or FIFA World Player of the Year. He receives all major awards. He doesn't really care about the awards anymore. Nadia was his life. Chris wants her back. He calls her. Nadia decides to speak to him. They talk about everything. Nadia seems she has forgiven him. Chris continues to call her every chance he gets. Sometimes, they have long intimate conversation. Sometimes, they have short conversation. Chris always tries to make her laugh but always reminds her how much he missed her and can't live without her, wants her back. Nadia tells him she is not ready yet. In the meantime, Chris continues to score a lot of goals and dedicate all goals to her. In the other hand, Nadia had surgery, returns to the game of tennis, and wins a couple of tournaments. Sometimes, Chris comes and watches her. But he never makes his presence felt, so she wouldn't get distracted. However, Nadia always senses his presence. It's some kind of sixth sense. One day, Chris runs into her accidentally on purpose at the French Open in Paris when AC Milan comes to play PSG. He asks her out. She accepts. After the game, which he scored 4 goals and dedicated them to her, they have dinner, then take a walk and kiss intimately, but he senses something. She is not as passionate as before. Chris asks her what's wrong. Nadia tells him that she wants to wait. She has to focus on the game and all. But the truth is she is hurt. She ends up losing at the final. Then comes FIFA World Cup. Portugal has easily advanced on top of their group. No team wants to play them. The competition begin like the summer weather. First round, it's not even close. Portugal destroys their opponents by the combining score of 26-4, 9-0, 8-2, 9-2, he scores 23 goals. It's a record. Losing team funds protest in the street. It's one of the biggest protests in the history of soccer. They say this is the biggest sports stage. Chris shouldn't be allowed to play. But nobody listens to them. In the first round of the knockout stage, Portugal beats Italy 5-1. Chris scores 4 goals and has an assist. They beat England 6-2 in the quarter-final. Chris scores all 6 goals. In the semi-final, they beat Germany 5-3. Chris scores 4 goals. In the final, they play Brazil. The game goes to extra time after 3-3. Chris scores all 3 goals. He then adds 5 more goals in extra time. The game ends 8-5. Portugal wins the World Cup. It is called the game of the century. Chris tells the media that he wants to thank God for everything. Nadia is at the game. Chris tells her she is the love of his life. He is nothing without her and places the gold medal around her neck. They kiss passionately while billions watching live. He asks her to marry him. She accepts his proposal. Chris puts the ring on her finger. The Portugal national team carry them and celebrate around the stadium. That night, Chris and Nadia make love as the citizen of Portugal continues to celebrate all night. Later in Lisbon, they get married in a church. They have reception in French Riviera, next the Mediterranean Sea. They fly all the guests in private jets. At the reception, Chris and Nadia dance slow. She asks him if the drug is fake. He tells her it's a placebo. The doctors told him it was all in the mind. You can do anything that you want to if you set your mind to it. There are infinite potential locked within the human brain. Nadia tells him that she is pregnant. Chris asks her if it's a boy or a girl. She says she doesn't know it yet. But they might have to invent a new sport if he or she decides to use their full potential and choose to do something with it. Chris tells her they might invent a soccer tennis where the players have to use their feet instead of rackets. She smiles in beauty. They kiss intimately. The end. Kate, that's an interesting story. Adrian, I actually changed the original ending. The doctors admit it's a placebo after millions of Brazil fans protest in the streets of Rio, beating Portugal citizens and burning their properties. Even the president says that they will go war with Portugal if FIFA doesn't take away the trophy and medals from them and ban Chris and the Portugal national team from the game of soccer and award the trophy to Brazil. FIFA tells them that they knew Chris was taking placebo long time ago. That's why they allowed him to play in the first place. They want to test the mind without the knowledge of the player. It might hold the key to ultimate talent that the beautiful game need. In another alternative ending, I want to remove the idea of placebo completely from the film, create a drug that gives athletes supernatural ability and does a couple films with professional athletes who are involved in all kinds of sports including basketball, hockey, American football, and others. In the movie, Chris scores some of the most spectacular goals that ever seen in the game of soccer. He just toys around with them. It's unbelievable. But in the meantime I thought placebo is a good idea. It's a romantic movie. I might lower the goals that he scores and writes a realistic love story from the scratch. Music plays on the soundtrack. Adrian and Kate continue to talk. But we don't hear what they are saying due to the music on the soundtrack. We stay with them for a bit and pull out of the restaurant dexterously. Chapter 3. Int. Adrian's convertible, moving, day. Adrian is behind the wheel. Kate is in the passenger seat. They are driving in I-10 while conversing. But we don't hear what they are saying due to the music on the soundtrack. The music then falls in the background and plays softly. It will fade away. Kate, I love mystery like Laura, Dial M for Murder, and Vertigo. But I usually try to stay away from serial killers, unless they are creative like Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Adrian, humorously maybe a little bit crazy like Natural Born Killers won't hurt either. Kate, I hate that movie. Adrian, I like Juliette Lewis. She's unpredictable. You know, she brings out of you something capricious. Kate, it's too much violent. I like your style of writing. It's seductive, except, you know, sometime it's hard to figure you out. I don't know what's in your mind when you write science fiction, all those parallel universes. As if you're from a different universe. You don't usually see people walk through thin air and go to parallel universes as the please or be 3 places at once and fuck 3 different girls at the same time. Adrian, that's quantum physics. Kate, I get it. 1 minute you're an artist in Paris. You sit with me drinking wine at a fancy restaurant in the present time. The next minute you're in the past making love to Natalie Portman at 33 AD in Jerusalem. You're Jesus Christ, and she is Mary Magdalene. Then minutes later, you're in the future sitting in the bathtub with Scarlett Johansson in New York City reciting Shakespeare's Shall I Compare Thee with the Summer Days, at the year 299 AD, at the turn of millennium. You take 3 of us to bed and fuck us at the same time. Later, Natalia Portman falls in the background. They crucify you on the cross in 33 AD. Then stigmata of Christ form on our hands, back and feet while you are making love to me and Scarlett Johansson simultaneously in 2 separate universes. She reaches the maximum sexual climax. I have intense orgasms. I am quoting what I read, thousands times more powerful than sexual climax that a woman experience in her lifetime. You know what I am talking about, the plot that you wrote under the title of Spell. I read it the other day. It's extremely creative. You used our real names but it might get you in trouble. Adrian, I'll change the names. Kate, that's not what I'm talking about. You just have to be careful. Everybody is not open-minded as you and me. Religion is a sensitive subject. Adrian, as long as you are willing to do it, I'll write it regardless of the consequences. Kate, I like the idea of deciphering Bible code, finding out that you're God who created the universe and making love to you till I'm wet while the stigmata of Christ forming on my body. Then every cell in our bodies turns into sparkling DNA, from DNA into glistering molecules. Each atom turns into subatomic particles and strings. We scatter in all direction, some travel faster than the speed of light, some travel through the natural wormholes, some teleport through the thin air, and become part of eternity. Some transform into pure phenomena. In the meantime, we continue to make love in space as rose petal fall from the skies defying law of existence. Our bodies continue to scatter in the vast emptiness of space, passing stars, galaxies, universes, multiverse, and transcend into infinity and beyond with each orgasm. It's extremely seductive. Adrian, I didn't know you already memorized everything. Kate, that is my job. I'm an actress, can memorize anything but do not want anything to happen to you. I like what we're doing right now, driving to Florida to investigate a real murder case. It might be dangerous but not controversial. Adrian, is it legal? Kate, Truman Capote did it in cold blood. When he found out the quadruple murder, before the killers were caught, he traveled to Kansas to write about the crime with Harper Lee, the author of To Kill the Mockingbird. They questioned local residents and investigators. Then the killers, Richard Hickok and Perry Smith, were arrested. Capote spent 6 years to write in cold blood. Maybe we are not supposed to understand the concept of crime. Two men committed murder and a writer traveled in the heart of the US to write about it. And then again, you don't usually meet people who get up in the morning and say we'll commit quadruple murder. You know, people are not really interested in crime. They're intrigued by its rarity. Supposes a man kills his neighbor and his wife and their 2 kids. That's new. People want to know what he was thinking. A week later, another man does the same, he kills his neighbor and his wife and their 2 kids. That's still new. People want answer what's going on. Then, 3 days later, everywhere people get up and kill their neighbors, their wives and kids. That is routine. Nobody is really interested in standard living format. So what we are doing is going to change how movie is made in Hollywood. Adrian, you should be a writer. Kate, I have thought about it a lot. What advice would you give me? Adrian, just believe in yourself and be ready for whatever out there. Sometimes, you have to go all out. You can't hold anything. Sometimes, you might have to take it easy. Sometimes, 90% is you. 10% is forces that are beyond your understanding. Sometimes it's beyond your control. You don't know what's out there. You just have to allow the forces to take you into forbidden dimensions and let your soul be consumed with desire and passion. You then blame the devil, whatever it is. Sometimes, you just fall in love with something beautiful unconditionally, deeply, and madly, let your soul scatter across the cosmos and travel beyond infinity. Kate, I hear you. It's like that screenplay I just mentioned, Spell. Were you on drugs? Adrian, humorously, Satan made me do it. Kate, really? Adrian, I was suffering from out-of-body experience, don't really remember writing none of it. Kate, that's what I suspected. Adrian, anyway, let's talk about the case. Do you think she did it, Mrs. Price? Kate, no, I don't think so. I just have this feeling she's innocent. Adrian, feeling doesn't count. This is a real murder case. Kate, first of all, she didn't commit the murder. They said she hired someone to kill her husband. This is 21st century. People don't kill for money anymore. They have a lot to lose. You know, the cops have well-trained forensics technicians, DNA evidence, crime scene experts. They will get caught. Adrian, this is not CSI, Miami. It's the real world. Things are different. They have millions of unsolved murder cases. Kate, suppose what you are saying is true. Even they get away with it. They can't live with guilt. You know, human brains are evolving each day. There is universal consciousness that rewards those who do well, and punishes those who do bad. It's like Cassandra's Dream, that Woody Allen's movie we watched together. Colin Farrell couldn't live with what he did. He and his brother killed an innocent man. He's consumed by guilt. Adrian, what about Ewan McGregor? He was not feeling bad about it. He continued to live his life as if nothing happened. Kate, they both die in the end. Adrian, I don't think universal consciousness has anything to do with it. Woody Allen just wanted to play with your emotions. Maybe he was making up for match point and crime and misdemeanors. The bad guys get away with their crimes. Kate, he killed Scarlett Johansson. She is your sweetheart. Adrian, you are my sweetest heart. Kate, whatever. Adrian, anyway, if we are going to solve the crime, we'd better get our facts straight. Kate, my intuition tells me she didn't do it. Adrian, that's good enough. We will just tell them we are doing a documentary. We are not going to reveal who we are. In my case, it doesn't matter. Nobody knows me. I'm a screenwriter, but you are a star. The second they look at you, they know who you are. Kate, I don't like the word star. I'm an actress. I make films. Some people might recognize me. But don't worry. I brought my sister's ID with me. I'll wear fake eyeglasses, put wigs, and look normal. Adrian, we are going to write a screenplay together. It doesn't sound sexy. Kate and her screenwriter boyfriend drive to Florida to investigate a real murder case. Kate thinks she can look normal. But she's the most beautiful girl in the universe. However, she tries to convince her boyfriend that she is the girl next door. That's impossible. Kate, she tries to convince her boyfriend, whom she unconditionally, deeply, and madly fell in love with after she filmed Sweet Sin of Mine that he wrote, she can blend in. Adrian, I can't believe they give the Oscar to Emily Blunt. You should have won. Your performance is 10 times better than hers. Kate, I knew she was going to win. Her performance in the depiction of Mata Hari is classic. I didn't even write acceptance speech. She swept all the awards. Screen Actors Guild Award, Critics' Choice, Golden Globe, and BAFTA. Adrian, that doesn't mean anything. I read over 25 novels day and night just to make you look irresistible. Part 7. Kate, I don't really care about awards. Look at Meryl Streep, she's nominated 15 times. I cannot really stand any of the roles that she played or films she made, Sophia Choice, Kramer vs. Kramer, Margaret Thatcher, and others. I'm not denying she's one of the greatest actresses of all time. It's just depressing. You know, some of her film feel like documentaries. Adrian, have you seen Adaptation or Deer Hunter? They are classic. Kate, actually, Adaptation is my only favorite movie that she ever did. That and The Devil Wear Prada. The rest can't stand them. Adrian, have you seen her in Woody Allen's Manhattan? She looked like a doll. But that's nothing. She was alluring in Out of Africa, Robert Redford shampooing her hair by the river. Kate, I knew you were romantic, but I didn't know you were that romantic. Adrian, anyway, who is your favorite actress that you look up to? Kate, I grew up watching Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman and My Best Friend Wedding, Cameron Diaz in There Is Something About Mary, Gwyneth Paltrow in Shakespeare in Love, Nicole Kidman in To Die For, and Catherine Zeta-Jones in Chicago. The truth is I didn't want to imitate any movie actress. Later, when I knew I wanted to be a serious actress, I watched Naomi Watts in Mulholland Drive, Jennifer Connelly in Requiem for a Dream, Kate Winslet in Eternal Sunshine of Spotless Mind. I felt I could learn few tricks and create my comfort zone without getting caught up in fame too much. Adrian, fame is a little price that you have to pay in order to get the message across. Kate, you can't buy privacy for millions. Paparazzi always follow you everywhere you go. It's worst in the night. I hate flashlights. They give me headache. Sometimes, I just want to sit at home and watch movies or dance or read books and listen to music. The paparazzi are awful. Adrian, just don't let them get inside your head. They are capable of getting on your nerves. Kate, it's cool. They're just doing their jobs. I respect that. Marilyn Monroe said, I believe that everything happens for a reason. People change so that you can learn to let go, things go wrong so that you appreciate them when they're right, you believe lies so you eventually learn to trust no one but yourself, and sometimes good things fall apart so better things can fall together. I always want to write a crime novel like Josephine Tay, The Daughter of Time. Maybe one day, I will sit and write first draft, 10 pages a month while focusing on acting. You know, I'd like to investigate how the Dutch painter Vincent van Gogh died. How could a person shoot himself with a gun and they concluded he died of suicide and no gun was found at the scene? The main character will be an actress like me. She investigates the case in the present time while filming a biographical film about the life of Vincent van Gogh. She sees Van Gogh's life unfolds through his painting as if she was there in the late 19th century in alternative universe, looking at him. She even questions witnesses who knew Van Gogh at that time, investigating the cause of his death and spending time with him in a state of fantasy while doing researches in the present time like Lore That You Wrote. Later, she finds out he was shot accidentally by a boy he knew who had a malfunctioning gun based on Van Gogh's 2011 biographers Stephen Knife and Gregory White-Smith. Adrian, just write the novel. I'll turn it into screenplay. Kate, anyway, I'm in heat. She unbuckles her seatbelt, gets closer and begins to kiss him. The car swerves off the lanes. Adrian makes a right turn and drives through the wood and stops the car. Adrian and Kate kiss intimately. She removes her underwear and throws it out of the window. Adrian unbuttons his pant. She sits on him and bounces up and down sweetly. They kiss French. Kate, I want you to make love to me on the hood. She gets up, exits the car and comes to the front of the car. Adrian exits as well. He completely removes his pant and throws it away. They kiss French. He then bends her against the hood and fucks her doggy style. She is making all kinds of sexual sounds like a porn star. He then reaches climax and comes inside her. He takes a deep breath. Kate has orgasms as well. Adrian, fuck. What was that, 5 minutes? Kate, something like that. They both sit on the hood. Adrian, you were screaming like a porn star. It kind of turned me on. But did you really have orgasm? She stands between his legs. Kate, what are you saying? I was faking it. They exchange soft kisses. Adrian, were you faking? They exchange soft kisses. Kate, I'm extremely sensitive to slightest penetration. I can have multiple orgasms just by thinking about intensely sexual situation or fingering myself. I think I got it from my mother. I used to hear her scream during sex every time my stepfather and she made love. She told me it's in our gene. We are hypersexual. Both my mother and my grandmother was a softcore porn stars. Adrian, I don't believe you. They exchange soft kisses. Kate, okay. They are not softcore porn star. They were an actress and a model but they were open to sexuality. Adrian, I hear you. They kiss French. Kate, you taste like vanilla. Adrian, it's something with my brain. I get super relaxed after sex. Let me put my pant. Kate, I notice you always remove your pant completely and throw it away whenever we make love. Why is that? Adrian, it's impulsiphobia. Adrian puts on his pant. Kate, what's impulsiphobia? It's not a real word, is it? Adrian, I invented it. It's like claustrophobia. Implexi means tangle in Latin and phobia is fear. I don't like a pant tangling on my feet. If a man has sexual intercourse with a girl with his pants still on or dragging on his feet, that won't count. It's not sex. It's releasing tension. You have to remove your pant completely, use every muscle in your legs and take advantage of the freedom that you create in the position that is given to you, in order to give the girl real orgasm. Kate, can you convince me? They kiss French. She then opens his pant. Adrian tears her shirt revealing her sweet breasts. He caresses her neck, kisses her breasts. He then completely removes his pant, comes between her legs and puts her on the hood. They kiss intimately. Adrian grabs her buttocks and enters her as they begin to have pornographic-style sex. On the soundtrack, Maxi Priest Wild World play. We stay with them for a beat. EXT Adrian's convertible, moving, sunset. Adrian and Kate continue to drive Interstate 10 in New Mexico. On the soundtrack, we continue to hear Maxi Priest's Wild World. EXT Ciudad Juarez night. A quick take of the city of Ciudad Juarez, New Mexico. Int. Restaurant night. It's a fancy 5-star restaurant. Adrian and Kate sit at a table and have glasses of red wines. On the stage, a girl named Marta sings a love song. Adrian and Kate are in the middle of conversation. We don't hear what they are saying due to the music. Adrian then gives Kate his hand to dance. Kate takes his hand. They get up, come to the dance floor and dance slow. They talk between soft kisses and kiss intimately. Int. Hotel bedroom night. Adrian and Kate make love. It's sensual, steamy, and passionate. She gets on top and rides him seductively. He gets her in the bottom and continues to enter her sweetly. She is in tremendous passion. We stay with them with serious cuts. On the soundtrack, music is playing. Montage. We see the map of USA, featuring all kinds of streets. Our camera zooms on Interstate 10. Adrian and Kate drive in I-10 in Texas. They are conversing. But we don't hear what they are saying due to the music on the soundtrack. Kate then unbuckles her seatbelt and kisses him. Adrian's convertible wobbles. Adrian pulls aside. Adrian and Kate kiss intimately. Various shot of the city of Houston in the night. Houston Hotel and Resort, bedroom. Adrian and Kate make love in round candle light. Adrian's convertible. Adrian and Kate continue to drive in I-10 in Louisiana. Various shots of the city of New Orleans. New Orleans Hotel and Resort, bedroom. Adrian and Kate make love in round candle light. Salina, Florida. It's a small fictional town/city right down by Jacksonville, Florida with 13,654 populations. Adrian and Kate drive in the main street. EXT Paul Snyder Real Estate Agency Building Day. Adrian and Kate come driving and park the car in front of the building. Adrian gives Kate a kiss on the lips, tells her he will be right back, gets out of the car and goes to the building. Kate waits in the car. We stay with Kate. Adrian's convertible minutes later. Adrian gets out of the building with a file, comes to his convertible and gets behind the wheel, gives the file to Kate. She looks at the file. It's a house. Adrian starts the car, and they drive away. EXT Adrian and Kate's new beach house day. A medium shot of a beautiful villa next to Atlantic Ocean. Adrian and Kate come driving, park their car in front of the house, get out the car and walk to the house. Int. Adrian and Kate's new beach house day. Adrian and Kate take a tour. On the soundtrack, music continues to play. They look around the living room. It's breathtaking. It's already furnished. They come to the kitchen and look at it. It's one of its kinds. They turn around, walk down the living room, climb the staircase, move down the corridor and go to the bedroom. Main bedroom. It looks like a living room. There are mirrors everywhere. We see a luxurious king-size bed. The bedroom has beautiful porch. Adrian and Kate walk to the porch. EXT Adrian and Kate's beach house bedroom porch day. A scenic view of Atlantic Ocean. Adrian and Kate look at the ocean. The music falls in the background. Adrian, what do you think? She gets closer to his lips. Kate, it's a beautiful. They kiss French. Int. Adrian and Kate's beach house bedroom night. Adrian and Kate make love in round candle light. It's sensual, seductive, and passionate. Adrian bends her and enters her behind. She then lies on her back. Adrian comes between her legs, kisses her lips, lifts her leg and enters her. Kate makes all kinds of sexual sound. We stay with them with serious cut as they continue to make love with various sexual positions. Montage. Kitchen, morning. Adrian and Kate make breakfast, scramble eggs. They talk between soft kisses. They kiss French and make love in the kitchen. Adrian and Kate's house, investigation room. Sitting at the table, Adrian and Kate study Mrs. Price's case while watching Mrs. Price's Dateline video, footage, interviews, witnesses talking about Mr. Price and Mrs. Price, etc. Adrian is focused. Kate is a little bit bored. She gets up, removes her underwear and sit on the table in front of him. Kate tells him to make love to her. Adrian gets up, completely removes his pant and kisses her lips. He then grabs her buttocks and enters her as they begin to make love. Adrian and Kate's investigation room. Adrian and Kate, who are naked, place photos of suspects and witnesses on the wall. They write down their names below with magic markers. Beach, sunset. Adrian and Kate take a walk down the shoreline, talking. We don't hear what they are saying due to the music on the soundtrack. They then stand lips to lips. They talk between soft kisses and kiss French. Kitchen, Adrian and Kate cook dinner, chicken macaroni casserole, lemon baked cod and salad. They kiss French and make love in the kitchen. Bedroom, Adrian and Kate continue to make love. It's steamy, romantic, seductive, and passionate. Living room, Adrian and Kate sit on a thin flat mattress next to the fireplace with round candlelight and have what they cooked earlier, chicken macaroni casserole, lemon baked cod and salad with glasses of red wines. Adrian is wearing a short. Kate is wearing a beautiful Victoria's Secret linger that reveal her breasts and private parts. She is almost nude. On the TV, Big Sleep is shown starring Humphrey Bogart as Detective Philip Marlowe and Lauren Bacall as Vivian Rutledge. Adrian and Kate are not really eating at the moment. As a matter of fact, they are done eating. They are talking about the case while sipping their wines and looking at photos and files. We don't hear what they are saying due to the music on the soundtrack. Kate then puts her wine aside and lies on a pillow. She seductively spreads her legs and calls Adrian with her index finger to come in. Adrian gets between her legs and kisses her lips. They kiss intimately. Adrian caresses her neck, kisses her breasts, kisses her belly. He goes down and gives her oral pleasure. Kate's face goes through all kinds of sexual phases. She is engulfed with pure sexual pleasure. She sighs, breathing in and out with multiple orgasms. Kate then pulls his hair and brings him closer to her lips. They kiss passionately. Adrian then enters her sweetly. But all of the sudden, he increases the speed and hits it delicious. Kate lets out all kinds of sexual sounds. She scratches his back. Adrian then comes inside her. They kiss passionately. Int. Adrian and Kate's house, bathroom night. Adrian and Kate are in the bathtub that is placed in the middle of the living room with round candlelight. She is resting on his chest. He is reciting poem softly down by her neck. Adrian, softly down by her neck. Could it be my imagination? Or it's been days since I wrote you a love poem. And just the other day as I walked by a rose, I thought about the day I took you to Louvre, where we kissed for the first time in the storm. And when the sun set, my lips recited the ride that we had in Venice after we left Rome. And as the night fell without your eyes, the stars asked me where they know me from. I told them I who used to speak to them. For my heart is forever your home. She smiles in beauty. He kisses her on the shoulder softly. Kate, I heard you wrote a sequel to Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It's one of my favorite films of all time. Adrian, it's only a plot. Kate, what's about? Adrian, it's actually prequel. You know, it's how Clement erased Joel. Did she go through hell like Joel? She finds out that she loves him and tries to stop them from erasing him. It's titled Eternal Sunshine Without Spotless Mind. Kate, tell me from the beginning. Adrian, the movie starts with Clementine decides to undergo the procedure after Joel breaks her heart. She hires Lacuna to erase her memories of their relationship. Clementine revisits the time that she spends with Joel in reverse. They break up, fight here and there, and argue a couple of times. Clementine tells him she is glad that she is erasing him. You should cut your dick off and feed it to a dog. You are not a man. Joel tells her she is a bitch and doesn't care about other people's feelings. She is one of the most selfish persons that he has ever met. You are a major whore. You needs the devil to fuck the living hell out of your dirty pussy till all the colors on your hair fade away, and your sick head might as well explode like atom bomb in Hiroshima. They fight more. She hits him. He might have slapped her here and there, but he defenses himself the most part. They kiss passionately and have steamy sex while sweating. They take a bath. Joel apologizes to her. He says that she has the most beautiful vagina in the world, loves the colors of her hair and will never hit her again. They kiss intimately. Clementine tells him not to worry about it. Sometimes, she likes it when they fight, that's what relationship is all about. Joel admits he doesn't really know anything about love. He just falls in love with every woman that he sees who shows him the least bit of attention. Maybe, he doesn't deserve her. Clementine is the most gorgeous girl that he has ever seen in his life. Clementine tells him that she likes him just the way he is. He is romantic. She doesn't really want him to change. Later, Clementine sees happier times that she and Joel spent together from earlier days. She has actually loved him more than a billion heartbeat. She doesn't want to erase him anymore. Clementine asks them to stop it. But they do not hear her. She apologizes to Joel. They make love. In the meantime, she tries to run away with Joel, creating artificial memories from the movie that she watched and books that she might have read, such as films like American Beauty. She plays Angela. She lies nude on the bed. Rose falls from the skies. He plays Ricky, that creepy kid who sells marijuana. He records her while she is telling him how much she loves him and all. Joel puts the camera aside, gets closer, and tells her there are so much splendor in her eyes. He kisses Clementine on the eyes. He says there are so much grace and glory on her cheeks. He kisses her on the cheeks. There is so much elegance on her nose. He kisses her on the nose. There are so much sweetness, harmony, and wisdom on her lips. He kisses her on the lips. He feels like he can't take it. She smiles in beauty. They kiss more intimately and make love as rose petals continue to fall from the skies and video recording in progress. Yet they find them and erase Joel. They watch Vertigo. Clementine plays Madeline. Joel plays Scott. Clementine jumps into the San Francisco Bay. Joel fetches her out of the water, gives her CPR and chest compression and saves her life. He tells her that's stupid. She tells him that she is sorry. Clementine and Joel kiss and make love on the bed mattresses that happens to be in the beach as snow fall from the skies. They find them and erase Joel. Clementine then hides him in Gone with the Wind. She plays Scarlett O'Hara. Joel plays Rhett Butler. Clementine tells him to kiss her till her lips bleeds. He says, imitating Clark Gable, "No, I don't think I will kiss you, although you need kissing, badly. That's what's wrong with you. You should be kissed and often, and by someone who knows how." They kiss intimately. They are just having fun while they are erasing her memories, in an effort to preserve Joel's memories. Clementine is a big fan of Back to the Future. She hides him in the movie. Joel plays Marty McFly. Clementine plays herself. He asks her who she plays. She is a new girl. They run into Biff and his gangs. Biff says that Clementine is his girlfriend. Clementine tells Biff she is in love with Joel. Biff and his gangs beat Joel. Clementine tells Biff she doesn't want to see him anymore. He is a loser. It's over between him and her. Biff tells her fine and walks away. Clementine tends Joel. She cleans his face. She kisses the bruise. They kiss intimately. Biff looks at them with rage. He says he will kill Joel. Later, Clementine and Joel come to prom. Joel sees his mother, 16-year-old Lorraine Baines. Lorraine makes an advance on Joel. Clementine tells Lorraine to watch out for Oedipus complex. There are things in the cosmos she would never understand. But Joel jokingly tells Clementine she can't talk to his mother like that. She might never give birth to him. Clementine tells him to shut up. He always talks nonsenses. They kiss French. Then Biff, who is wearing a cowboy hat and clothes like his grandfather Mad Dog, walks into the ballroom with a shotgun and fire on the roof to scare the crowd. Everybody stops what he or she is doing and looks at him. Biff tells Joel that Clementine is his girl and shoots Joel in the chest. It's a blast. But nothing really happens. There is a blood. We see a big exit wound. Yet Joel is alive. Everybody can't believe what is going on. Is he some kind of alien? In the meantime, Biff looks at Joel, who is still alive. He says, "What the fuck?" He drops his shotgun, turns around and runs away. The party resumes in full swing. Joel and Clementine dance slow and kiss. Joel then begins to feel weird. They sit at a table. Joel tells her he feels like dying. He shows her a photo of him and Clementine. Joel is fading away in the photo. What's going on? They are erasing him. She tells him to hang on for a minute. Clementine goes back to the future, grabs a handgun from her father's house, and gets in the Dolores, returns to the past at the prom. She tells her past self, exact copy, to step aside. She has already done a major damage, erasing Joel from her memories. She will take over from there. Clementine tells Joel that they have to leave or they will erase him. In the meantime, Biff walks in with a shotgun, fires a warning shot, and tells Joel the same thing, Clementine is his girl. Clementine stands in front of Joel, points her gun at Biff and tells him to leave Joel alone. Or she'll shoot him in the dick. Biff laughs at her, and sets to shoot her. But she fires at him. The bullet tears his pant, misses his ball by an inch and passes between his legs. Biff drops his gun, turns around and runs away. Clementine looks at Biff's friends who are wearing cowboy hats. She fires at their hats like Clint Eastwood in The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Their hats fall down. They run away as well. Clementine then tells Joel they must leave from this place as soon as possible or they will erase him. They get in the Dolores and come to the future in the year 2050. But she tells him she doesn't want to see her old self. They travel to the year 3012 and come to a club. A man named Robert gives them a pill called Sunshine. Clementine and Joel take the pills. The drug heightens their sense and finds themselves multiple places at the same time. They dance like as if they were making love on the dance floor. They then kiss French. Clementine and Joel leave the club, comes to a museum in extra dimension, looks at the art and make love in the museum. They find them, erase Joel and destroy all the copies of Back to the Future that she has. Clementine then goes to her childhood memories. She introduces him to boys that she dated in high school. They hide in her drama class where she plays Juliet. He just watches her. She is an amazing actress. They find them and erase Joel. Clementine and Joel come to a college house party. They go to her best friend room. They listen to music, dance slow and make love. They find them. They continue to run and hide in her dearest memories opposite to Joel's embarrassing memories when he tries to hide her in eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. But they keep finding them and continue to erase Joel from her memories. In the meantime, Patrick isn't infatuated with Clementine. He is one of the Lacuna technicians performing the erasure. He is left alone with her. He kisses her lips, slowly removes Clementine's underwear and looks at her vagina. It's dyed with blue. He then gives her oral pleasure while she is sleeping. She tells Joel she is turned on. Someone is giving her oral pleasure. She can feel it. A tongue on her clitoris. It feels good. Then Patrick removes his clothes and gets naked to have sex with her. Stan returns to the house with Mary. They ask him what he's doing. Patrick tells them he's about to take a shower. He feels dirty. Stan tell him whatever. Mary thinks he is a pervert. But either of them don't really give a fuck. Stan and Mary just want to have fun as well. They drink scotch. Stan takes over the procedure. Patrick comes out of the shower and tells Stan that Clementine has kept going through all kinds of old memories and even creating new memories. She is wild. He has never seen anything like her. He reminds Stan to keep his eyes on her. Or he will lose her. Stan assures him he gets everything under control. Mary talks about Howard. She thinks she is in love with him. Stan tells her to forget him. He's an asshole. He makes a living erasing people's precious memories. There is nothing wrong with our memories. We should take the good with bad and move on with our lives. That is the beauty of life. However, Mary says she admires what Howard is doing. Some memories can hold us back. We fall in love. Then our hearts get shattered into 1,000 pieces. We are sad, because the people we love are not with us. Sometimes, we can't stop thinking about them. Just the thought of their eyes hurt more than a million headaches. Our souls are torn apart to the point they cannot be fixed. How happy is the blameless Vestals, the world forgetting, by the world forgot, eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. Each prayer accepted, and each wish resigned. In the other hand, Clementine tries to preserve some memories of Joel. She pastes him on everything that she can find. A young school teacher that she once had a crush on when she is in college. Joel becomes him. He teaches English. He reads Shakespeare. Clementine is looking at him as if she saw the love of her life. They find him and erases him. She replaces John Bon Jovi with Joel despite the fact he is one of her favorite singers of all time. Joel sings Living on a Prayer on the stage, replacing John Bon Jovi in front of millions. Clementine is next to the stage screaming with joy. Joel gives her his hand. She takes his hand and climbs on the stage. She sings Living on a Prayer with Joel. They then drop the mic and kiss French on the stage. They find him and erase him. Clementine and Joel watch Ghost. She pretends to be Molly. He plays Sam. They do clay sculpture and make love with Unchained Melody by Righteous Brothers. However, they find them and continue to erase him. Joel tells her it might be dangerous. She could lose all those precious memories. But Clementine doesn't listen to him. She continues to cut all kinds of boyfriends that she dated throughout her lives and paste Joel as she tries to hold on to his memories. She even tries to hide him with boys that she is in love with when she was a child. Joel asks her if it's a good idea to replace all her lovers with him. Clementine tells him it's her brain, she can do whatever she pleases. She has made a mistake. She must correct it. Clementine puts a wedding gown, plays Madonna's Like a Virgin and tries to hide him with her high school boyfriend whom she lost her virginity to while singing and dancing like Madonna. But Joel tells her that's enough. What's done is done. They might damage her memories. Whatever times they have, they should spend making love and enjoying whatever they did in the past. They make love all night. They sit in the bathtub that is placed in the beach, down by the shoreline, looking at brightest white moon and sparkling stars while wave crashing on the tub. There is a red rose on the sand. They talk about the universe. She then tells him she has an idea. What if she hides him in Brian Greene's The Fabric of the Cosmos? She tells him there are infinite cosmos. They can be multiple places at the same time or disappear through the fabric of the cosmos. Joel tells her that is an amazing idea. They kiss and then find themselves traveling in space while still sitting in the bathtub as if the tub were a spaceship. They look at all kinds of beautiful stars, planets, nebula, angels, and classic films. They then moves at the speed of light and teleport through the thin air and disappear. Stan cannot find them. He doesn't care. He is fooling around with Mary. They're naked without a single drop of cloth. He is eating grapes and strawberry from her body, dipping at the yogurt on her vagina. They have been drinking and dancing. She is sweating. He rubs ice on her chest and breasts and sucks her nipple. In the meantime, he checks Clementine's erasure. Stan has realized he has lost Joel to the point he can't trace him. He begins to panic. Mary gets up, cleans the yogurt from her vagina with a towel, puts on her clothes and tells him to call Dr. Howard Mierzwiak. They call him. In the other hand, Clementine and Joel arrive at an exotic planet and find their clothes in the beach. They put it on and sees their exact copies who are lying on the beach and making out. I left this part open. I will add all kinds of interesting stuffs. Meanwhile, Howard comes to Clementine's house and finds Joel without a trouble. He destroys Brian Greene's Fabric of the Cosmos and continues with the erasure. Mary tells Dr. Howard she likes him. She feels it in her belly. She cannot explain it. Mary doesn't know what it is. But, it is the most beautiful feeling ever. He tells her that he is in love with his wife, apologizes to her and walks away. Howard gets in his car and starts the engine. Mary runs to Howard and asks him to give her ride home. He gives her ride. In the car, Mary tells him that she thinks that they were lovers in the previous lives. She dreamed that she was walking on the beach alone. She then saw him. He was reading a book titled Eternal Sunshine. She asked him who the author was. He told her it was him. It is about a man who erases people's memories and gives them a peace of mind. He then said in her dream he wished he had spent more time with her than he would like to admit. Some memories can't be erased. They become dreams and live in our souls forever. But Howard tells her there is nothing between them. She tells him it's just a dream, though it feels real. It is lucid. Howard tells her she has a bright future ahead of her. Live it to the fullest. He drops her at her house. She invites him to come in. They listen to music. They dance slow. He holds her close to his heart. Then when they are about to kiss, his cell phone rings. It's his wife. Howard answers it. He talks to his wife, hangs it up, tells Mary that he has to go. He gets in his car and drives away. Mary's eyes fills with tears. She closes her eyelids. In a heartbeat, tears alluringly fall down by her cheeks. In the meantime, tears leave from Clementine's eyes and fall down by her cheeks as well. Clementine tells Joel she will never erase him again. It really hurts deep in her soul where she can and can't feel alive. She will make up to him. Clementine promises him she will find him and fall madly in love with him till the day she dies. Even if it's hell, she will find Joel and be with him for eternity. They kiss intimately. They completely erase Joel from Clementine's memories. Later, Clementine runs into Joel. They are just about instantly attracted to each other despite the fact they are the opposite of everything we expect them to be. The end. Kate, that's a pretty interesting story. I like Mary's quote, how happy is the blameless Vestals, the world forgetting, by the world forgot, eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. Each prayer accepted, and each wish resigned. Adrian, I thought about writing how they erased Mary's memory. But Tom Wilkinson is a little bit old now. They'd probably replace him with Michael Fassbender and film it NC-17, which might piss off some die-hard Eternal Sunshine spotless mind fan, or maybe not. You know, it has a couple of sex scenes. Instead, I ended up writing Broken Memories. Kate, I love to watch Michael Fassbender and Kristen Dunst in some kind of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Adrian, it's amazing. I just saw Kristen Dunst few days ago on the cover of Town and Country magazine while I was shopping. She looks amazing. I might write her something steamy. Kate, write her how they erased Mary's memory in Eternal Sunshine of Spotless Mind. They have made hundreds of Batman with different actors including George Clooney and Ben Affleck. I don't think people will complain if you replace Tom Wilkinson with Michael Fassbender and write a sizzling screenplay. You know, Michael stared in shame. I saw the film. It's a pretty good film. Adrian, everybody was talking about it. But I didn't get a chance to see it. Kate, it's pornography literally speaking. Adrian, let me see what I can do. Mary comes to a decision to erase Dr. Mierzwiak. She doesn't want to interfere. You know, come between his family and Howard. Dr. Mierzwiak himself agrees to erase her memory. They go through emotions and all. He then begins to erase her memories from the earliest. In the middle, she has a change of heart like Clementine and Joel after she finds out that she can't live without him. Howard has always treated her the way a woman should be treated, as if she were a princess. He took her to romantic restaurants. Part 8. They dance slow. You know, since Dr. Mierzwiak played by Michael Fassbender, they have steamy sex here and there. He also shows her how to erase memories. They talk about romantic things. He teaches her few tricks. She asks him why he chose to erase people memories. He tells her there are dark forces beyond our understanding. They use our memories against us to get what they want, iniquities that slow down the progress of life. But the truth is, it has nothing to do with dark forces. All we have in life are memories. Howard admits maybe he does it for a selfish reason. We can't live without memories, whether they are joyous or painful. He adds we have to cherish them at all costs. You know, make the most out of every sweet memories. And if we have to learn from our mistakes, learn from them and move on. Sometimes, we have to heal our soul by retrieving memories of the finest time we spend together. We are here to build memories. Without memories, we are fish in the ocean. Loneliness is a shark. It will consume our souls uncooked and make us feel empty. It's worse than regret. Basically, Mary and Howard had a lot of fun. However, Howard is erasing all of it. We can create conflict and give the story multiple dimensions. Howard's wife might come to the picture and confront him in the middle as he continues to erase Mary's memories. She also plays an important role in Mary's decision to erase Howard from her memories. Meanwhile, Mary tries to preserve some of the memories of Howard in vain. I will think something when I have free time. Kate, what is broken memories about? Adrian, Isaiah runs a corporation that erases painful memories called Broken Memories. All he needs is time and date. Your bad memory and post-traumatic stress are gone forever. One day, a girl named Mia comes up to his office and asks Isaiah to erase a painful memory. We learn from a flashback as Mia tells him the story: she has shot and killed a man. Isaiah erases her memory, no question asked. In the meantime, he is attracted to her. She thinks he is handsome as well. They begin to date, make love a couple of times. She asks Isaiah to marry her. She actually proposes to him. He thinks it's supposed to be the other way around. Regardless, Isaiah and Mia get married. Later, Isaiah meets a mysterious girl named Lillian. It's love at first sight. She tells him Mia is not what he thinks she is. Her real name is Natalie. She has a secret. But Lillian will not tell him what the secret is. Isaiah might have to figure it out by himself. Isaiah thinks Lillian is flattering with him and begins to see her secretly. Isaiah and Lillian embark in a passionate love affair behind Mia. Later, Isaiah finds out Mia's secret. She killed her previous husband after she caught him with unknown girl. Mia said it was self-defense. The judge found her not guilty. But nobody know who the other girl is. It's mystery. Isaiah had already erased her memory. He can't ask her a lot of questions about her past. In the meantime, Isaiah can't leave Mia, is still in love with her as well. She is wild in bed, knows a lot of tricks, has gotten him involved in S&M sex. In the sense, he is addicted to her. Later, Mia tells Isaiah that she is going to see her sister in Boston, gets in her car and drives away. Lillian seduces Isaiah to take her to his house. Isaiah and Lillian cook and begin to make love in the kitchen. Mia returns to the house and catches them in act. She tells Lillian to leave and threaten to kill Isaiah if he doesn't open his safe box, and gives her all his money in the safe. Isaiah opens the safe and gives her all his money. When she is about to kill him, Lillian returns to the house with a gun and warns her to drop the gun. Mia tells her she has to do it. Lillian and Mia know each other. They go around, seduce men, rob their money and kill them. Mia had Isaiah erased a fake memory. She was just playing him. Yet in the other hand, Lillian is in love with Isaiah. She doesn't want him to die and begs Mia not to do it. Mia refuses to drop the gun. When she is about to pull the trigger, Lillian shoots Mia in the heart and kills her. Isaiah erases Lillian's memory. They get married and live happily ever after. Kate, that's an interesting story. But I heard you wrote experiment, something has to do with memory. What is it about? Tell me from the beginning. Adrian, Lewis, 34, is ex-Navy SEAL. He has suffered from post-traumatic stress. Lewis agrees to participate in AMDS, Advanced Memory Deletion Study, conducted by Dr. George Cage, neurologist, which he believes might hold key insights and cure on addiction, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, obsessive-compulsive personality disorder, insomnia, borderline personality disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder and other neurological disorder. As Lewis is quickly cured from his diseases. He is instructed to work out. He runs 10 miles a day, in 30 minutes, lifts weight, like Superman, and they moderate his diets. His total health and fitness becomes equivalent to a man that is 15 years younger than him. Yet, The memory deletion has side effect. Louis has no knowledge of his past. He doesn't know who his family and friends are. He doesn't have knowledge of people whom he has once loved and hated. He is a living thing that only breathes and functions accordingly, like a machine. Later, George places microchips inside Louis's brain, programs his neurons to be an artist and sends him home to join society. He also puts surveillance cameras everywhere. The AMDS team follow every step that Louis takes and study his life in multiple screens. Louis becomes a famous artist like Picasso, meets a girl named Mia at his gallery show and does her portrait. They make love as George and his team watch them in the multiple screens. George then reprograms Louis's brain to be a software engineer. He erases all his recent memory including the time he spent with Mia. They make him leave her. Louis is hired as computer programmer. He meets Jessica who works as industrial psychologist. They have dinner. One things lead to another. They make love all night. George and his team watch him in multiple screens, analyzing Louis's brain activity, manipulating his thoughts and increasing his neurons' connections. He gives Jessica beautiful orgasm. She tells him it's the best sex that she has ever had in her life and asks him humorously if he is an alien from some kind of planet. She can't believe his stamina and speed and tricks that he has. He thought he was all right. He didn't even try. She tells him that he is a god. He tells her that he doesn't really know what is happening to him. It feels like someone is controlling his brain. George and the scientists erase Louis's brain and reprograms his neurons to be a doctor. Louis is hired at St. Joseph Hospital as a heart surgeon. He successfully performs numbers of impossible heart surgeries. In the meantime, Louis meets a girl named Anne. She is a doctor. He invites her to his house for dinner. They shop at a supermarket and cook all kinds of aphrodisiac foods together. They dance slow, kiss and make love in the kitchen. George and his team watch them in multiple screens. George increases his brain connection that is responsible for sex drive. Louis and Anne take it to the bedroom. It's one of the best sex in the history of cinema. It's literally pornography. They do it with all kinds of sexual positions. George and the neurologists watch them in awe. Next, George reprograms Louis's brain as a rocket scientist. Louis is hired as astronauts at NASA. Louis and 6 astronauts are sent to Mars to explore the Red Planet. They discover the planet has been infused with greenhouse gas by advanced alien civilization called Mevlans. It is habitable. The Mevlans lives in parallel universe. They actually traveled through a wormhole billions of light years to make contact with humans in Mars. Louis and the astronauts meet the Mevlans. They look like human except they glow like angels. They are extremely attractive. Later, Louis volunteers to see their planet. He travels through series of wormholes and arrives at Mevlans. Louis meets a girl named Lisbeth, Mevlanian, at a party. They make love. It's supernatural. Lisbeth's body glows like the sun as she reaches climax. Lisbeth gives him a necklace. Louis returns to Mars. He then travels back to Earth. George and his AMDS team erase Louis's memory and reprogram him as a writer. Louis writes his first novel titled Vanish in 3 weeks. It's a story about a man who killed his wife and gets away with murder. Instead, her lover is blamed for her death. He is found guilty and sentenced to death with lethal injection. Later, Louis meets a girl named Sienna. They have dinner, make love here and there, and get married. Sienna, who has read his book, has an affair with a man named Jalen, sends Louis sex video of Jalen and herself, and disappears from the face of the earth, leaving a couple of clues that indicate he might have killed her. He's accused of her murder. The police also find a couple of sex tapes that she made with Jalen. It's based on his book. Prosecutors uses his book to prosecute him. Louis is found guilty and sentenced to death with lethal injection. Later, Sienna disguised as a blonde woman comes to the prison to visit him. She tells him that she is Mia. In flashback, we see Louis telling her he doesn't know who she is due to his memory erasure. Now she is taking revenge on him. When Louis is about to be executed, George comes up to the prison with video evidence and stops the execution. Louis is sent home. Later, he runs into Mia at a club. She is caught off guard. But he doesn't know who she is. He introduces himself to her politely. They have erased his memory. He is attracted to her. They strike up a conversation. She plays along. She thinks he has a condition like memento. And invites him home. They make love. At AMDS headquarters, they watch them in the multiple screen. The end. Kate, it's not bad. Adrian, I might add few twists. Mia is also part of the study. George is controlling her brain. Kate, that sounds good but I want you to make love to me till I glow like the sun. I am in the mood for supernatural sex. They kiss intimately. Int. Adrian and Kate's house, bedroom night. Adrian and Kate make love in round candlelight. It's steamy, sensual, seductive, and passionate. We stay with them with serious cuts. EXT Adrian's convertible, moving, day. Adrian and Kate drive in the street of Selina. EXT Selina Police Station day. Medium shot of Selina Police Station. Adrian and Kate come driving to the station. They park their car at the parking lot, get out of the car and walk toward the police station. Int. Selina Police Station main floor day. It is a typical small town police station. It's quiet. We don't see a lot of people except a couple of police officers chatting, writing reports, talking on phones, booking about 3 or 4 criminals, etc. Adrian and Kate walk down the station and come to Detective Mila Jacob, 36, who is sitting at her desk and talking on the phone. She looks at them and gives them her index finger. 1 second. Mila, on the phone, keep eye on him. We don't hear the other end of the conversation. Mila, on the phone, I see what I can do. I got everything under control. Sure. Take care, bye. She hangs up the phone. Mila, what's up? Adrian, I'm Adrian. Kate. Adrian, I talked to you on the phone earlier about Mrs. Price case. Mila, have a seat. Adrian and Kate sit at Mila's desk. Mila grabs Mrs. Price's file. Mila, you want to investigate the case? Kate, we think she is innocent. Mila, are you planning to make a movie about it? Adrian, that's the idea. But we just don't want to make a movie about a woman who might or might not hire a hitman. We might need more information. Kate, you said he tied her up to make her look like a victim. That just doesn't add up. Mila, what doesn't add up? Kate, there is no evidence that she hired a hitman. It's a lie. Mila, I am not worrying about that. But the killer is still out there. What makes you think he is not going to come after you? Kate, we're going after him. There is a silent moment. Mila continues to look at the file. She then. Mila, you have a comfortable life in Hollywood, money, fame, and talent. Do you really want to risk it for a woman who watched a contract killer murder her husband in cold blood? Kate, that's just your opinion. The fact is you didn't do what you are supposed to do. You just assumed she is guilty. Mila, we do not work based on assumption. Kate, really? I thought that's police's motto. We work based on assumption, to serve and protect. Mila smiles to herself sarcastically. Kate gets her attention. Mila, do you really want to know what happened that night? Mrs. Price hired a contract killer and had her husband killed. If things had gone according to her plan, she might have got his house and boat business as well as his cars and whatever money he has in the bank, plus some insurance. That's enough motive to kill an innocent man. He was planning to divorce her. She might have gotten away with it. But she put a bad acting job. Maybe a good acting coach from Hollywood might have helped her case. She told one lie after another, changed the elements of her story. We had enough evidence that indicates she was responsible for the death of Mr. Price. Adrian, give us a chance. We will re-examine all available evidence, interview witnesses, and assist you. You know, we will collect more evidence for the development of information, which can lead to the identification, arrest, and conviction of the person who committed the actual murder. Just let us look at the case. We know where to look for new leads, what questions to ask and how to track down witnesses. We just need you to guide us through the inquiry. You said the killer is still out there. We'll help you find him. They continue to talk. We slowly pull out of the station. On the soundtrack, music plays. Int. Adrian's convertible, moving, sunset. Adrian and Kate drive in the street of Selina. Adrian is behind the wheel. Kate is in the passenger seat. She is looking at Mrs. Price's file. On the soundtrack, the music continues to play. It then falls in the background and plays softly. Adrian, so where are we going to start our investigation? Kate, we're going to question his mistress Charlotte. I think she might have lied about Mr. Price divorcing his wife. Adrian, how did you know that? Kate, I talked to Mrs. Price on the phone earlier while you were talking to Detective Jacob. She said he wasn't divorcing her. He loved her. Charlotte lied to the cops. Adrian, if she lied to the cops, what makes you think she's going to tell us the truth? Kate, we'll just ask her a couple of questions. We'll tell her we are documentary filmmakers. If that doesn't work, we will extort her. I've already hired a private detective. I'll ask him to find something that she did in the past. Everybody has a secret. Adrian, when did you hire a private detective? Kate, 3 days ago, while we were studying the case. Adrian, why didn't you tell me? Kate, I was going to tell you. Must have forgotten. This is his card. His name is Caesar Johnson. He's an ex-FBI. She gives him Caesar's card. Adrian, you're a step ahead of everything. But before we question her, let's talk to Javier Thiago first. There is a rumor Mr. Price was involved in a drug smuggling business. Javier was using Mr. Price's boats to smuggle drug to USA. They then had fallout. Maybe Javier sent a hitman and has him killed. Kate, I doubt if drug has anything to do with the murder. If it were drug-related, they'd have killed both of them. Adrian, that is a good point. Kate, let's ask him anyway. Adrian, we will ask him. But we have to be careful. You heard what Detective Jacob said. The killer is still out there. He doesn't care if you're a movie star. If we fuck up, he'll kill us. Kate, this is the most exciting feeling I have ever had. I can always fake it. You know, pretend to be something that I am not. But I want to do something real. Even it kills me. She unbuckles her seatbelt, gets closer to Adrian and begins to kiss him. The car wobbles off the lane. Adrian stops the car in the middle of the street. They kiss French as if their lips and tongues are made of each other's hearts and souls. Cars drive by them, right and left. But luckily, there are not too many cars on the street. It's a small town. EXT Javier's Mansion Day. Medium shot of Javier Thiago's mansion. It's a multimillion-dollar villa. We see beautiful gardens, a swimming pool, tennis court, a water fountain, etc. Adrian and Kate come driving and stop at the gate. A security guard approaches them. Adrian tells him they have an appointment, and gives him a card. The guard takes the card and checks it with his assistant, Guard 2, who is sitting inside a security room. Guard 2 checks the guest list and makes a call. Seconds later, they let them in. Adrian and Kate drive through the forest, move down farther and park their car next to the main house. They get out of the car and walk toward the house. Guard 3 greets them at the door and leads them to the main house. EXT Javier's Mansion Backcourt Day. It's a fancy backcourt. It has a swimming pool. We see beautiful garden and a private bar. A bartender gives a martini to an attractive Latino named Catalina, 23. Javier Thiago, 42, sits near the swimming pool with a glass of scotch. Adrian and Kate approach Javier escorted by Guard 3. Javier greets them and asks them to sit. They sit at the table. The music on the soundtrack falls in the background and plays softly. Javier, would you care for drinks? Adrian, no thanks. Kate, I'll have what you're having. Javier waves his hand at Catalina and points at his scotch. She tells the bartender to give her a scotch. Javier, so you come to ask me about the murder of Mr. Price? Kate, right. Javier, I thought his wife Mrs. Price was serving time for his murder. Kate, we just want to ask you few questions. We believe she is innocent. Javier, in America, you're innocent till proven guilty. In Florida, you are innocent even proven guilty. I love Florida. I don't even consider it America. It's some kind of paradise in alternative universe. They should declare independent from USA. Catalina comes to the table with Kate's scotch, places the drink in front of Kate and walks away quietly. Kate takes a sip and puts down her drink. Kate, where were you that night May 23rd, between 12 a.m. to 1 a.m.? Javier, I was at a club Havana that I own. Kate, your ex-wife Lola said that you came to see her around 1 a.m. uninvited. Javier, is that a crime? Kate, why don't you tell me? Javier, I missed her, just wanted to drop by and say hello. When I drink, I get emotional. It was foolish. I had few drinks and did few lines of cocaine. She was with her boyfriend. We had a fight. I punched him on the nose. My bodyguard stopped me. I go crazy when I mix scotch with cocaine. Kate, it's good you mentioned drugs. We heard rumor that you were using Mr. Price's boats to smuggle drugs to USA. Is that true? Javier, no, it's not true. I'm a businessman, import coffee. I don't know anything about drugs, might have snorted coke every now and then to keep me safe from harm, but that doesn't mean I'm a drug dealer. As a matter of fact, I might have used his boats to bring coffee once or twice. That's about it. Mr. Price and I were just friends. Kate, that's not what I heard. He stole your cocaine and sold it to a mob named Joey. You might have him killed to send a message even though he paid you back. Javier, I'm sorry. I'm not a drug dealer. I can't stop people from talking lies about me. There is a Chinese proverb, what is told in the ear of a woman is often heard 100 miles away. You can talk to my lawyer if you want to. He will explain to you. I have already called him. He was supposed to be here 1 hour ago. They continue to talk. On the soundtrack, music plays. We slowly pull out the house. Int. Adrian's convertible, moving, day. Adrian is behind the wheel. Kate is in the passenger seat. They drive in the street of Selena. On the soundtrack, music continues to play. Adrian and Kate are talking but we don't hear them what they are saying due to the music on the soundtrack. EXT Vera Restaurant Day. Medium shot of Vera Restaurant. It's a beautiful 4 stars restaurant. Adrian and Kate come driving and park their car at the parking lot. They get out of the car and walk toward the restaurant. Ext Vera Restaurant. Mr. Parker office day. It's a neat office. Robert Parker, 42, sits behind his desk, smoking cigarette. Adrian and Kate sit at Robert's desk and question Mr. Parker. Kate, you were involved in a quarrel with Mr. Price, dispute over a hotel partnership. We are told Mr. Price double-crossed you. He pulled out at last minutes to start a boat business. He even stole your money that you were planning to invest on the hotel. Robert, you can't trust people in this days and age. That is the basic lesson of life. They stab you in the back when the least expected. Adrian, you threatened to kill him. Robert, we all have threatened those who causes us great emotional distress in the state of rage. That's nothing new. Kate, so you hired a hitman and had him taken care of. Is that it? Robert, I wished I had done that. But I don't have the courage to talk to a man, who makes a living killing people, who cross lines. But when I heard he was killed, I wasn't really too upset. He got what he deserved. Adrian, where were you that night? Robert, I have already told the cops. I was home making love to my wife. Kate, your wife Kimberly said you left the house around 11:45 p.m. to get brandy. But you didn't return till 1 a.m. Where did you go? Robert, I don't usually go to sleep without a glass of brandy. But that night was different. I went to see Nicole. She is my girlfriend. She called me and said she was lonely. I stopped by her house and spent an hour. Adrian, where does she live? Robert, she lives in 945 Nashville Street. Kate, what did you do? Robert, we had sex. Kate, why did you lie to the cops? Robert, I didn't want my wife to find out about it. She knew that Kevin and I had fallout. I told her I was going to kill him. I even bought a gun and showed it to her. But she talked me out of it. Later, someone killed him. It's a coincidence. I threw the gun in the river. You know, we talked about it. If they asked her my whereabouts, she said she would tell them I was home making love to her. I guessed she finally decided to tell the truth. Kim has always suspected I was having an affair, but I have never told her about Nicole. Kate, how do we know you didn't go to Mr. Price's house, tie his wife and kill him? Robert, that takes a lot of balls. I have only a pair. Besides, if I were the killer, I wouldn't have bothered to tie his wife. I'd have killed both of them and got rid of all the evidences. I am sorry. I watched a lot of films lately. Sometimes, I get excited and say things that I don't really mean it. But it's sad that he has to go out like that. Justice is blind. When it grows eyes, bad things tend to happen. They continue to talk. On the soundtrack, music comes. We pull out dexterously. Montage. Mrs. Miles' house, day. Adrian and Kate question Mrs. Miles. She tells them what she knows. Mr. Julius' office, day. Kate questions Mr. Julius. Bar, day. Adrian questions a female bartender named Lila, 26. Prison, visiting room, day. Adrian and Kate talk to Jessica Price, 36, who is wearing an orange prison uniform. She looks like Jessica Chastain. She tells them what they want to hear. Vaughn's boat, day. Adrian and Kate ask Vaughn Zachary, 45, who sells boats. Bicycle store, Adrian and Kate question Travis, who runs one of the biggest bicycle stores in the state of Florida. He tells them what he knows. Salina Police Station, Kate questions Detective Reed Martins, who is sitting at his desk. He was in charge of the investigation. We might have seen him in Dateline video answering few questions. Sarah's beach house, Adrian questions a woman named Sarah while walking down the shoreline. They then stand face to face and talk. Computer store, day. Kate questions a man named Matthew Jude, 40, who runs a computer store. He tells her what she wants to hear. Selena Club, night. Adrian and Kate talk to a woman named Kylie, 34, who is sitting at the bar. Nicholas's house, day. Adrian and Kate questions a man named Nicholas Kane. Selena Police Station, day. Adrian and Kate talk to Detective Mila. She shows them a couple of crime scene photos. She then shows of photos of criminals who support tattoos of Scorpio. Club and bar, night. Adrian and Kate sit at a table with a private investigate named Caesar Johnson, 39. Caesar gives Kate Charlotte's information. Selena City, Adrian and Kate drive in the street of Selena. Chapter 4. EXT Charlotte's house day. Medium shot of Charlotte's house. It's a luxurious two-bedroom dwelling. Adrian and Kate come driving, park their car next to the house. They get out of the car and walk up to the house. Kate rings the bell. The door opens, revealing Charlotte Dalton, 36. She is an attractive woman. Int. Charlotte's house living room day. Adrian and Kate sit at a coffee table and question Charlotte, 36, who is sitting at the opposite side of the coffee table. Kate, where were you on May 23 between 12 a.m. to 1 a.m.? Charlotte, why are you asking me that? I thought you said you were making documentary. Adrian, yes, we are. But before we do anything, we just want to make sure the people whom we question are comfortable with their answers. This is just a preparation. Kate, where were you that night? Charlotte, I was at home watching TV. Kate, you talked to Mr. Price from 9:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. What did you talk about? Charlotte, we didn't really talk about anything. He just told me how much he missed me. I told him I loved him. Kate, you told the cops he was planning on divorcing his wife. Charlotte, he was going to leave her. But that bitch hired a hitman and had him killed. I hope she dies in prison and burn in hell for eternity. Kate, Mr. Price never mentioned about divorcing his wife to his friends or anyone. Did you make that up? Charlotte, what are you trying to say? Kate, I'm not trying to say anything. If he was planning on divorcing his wife, he would have told to his friends. Charlotte, he had never trusted his friends. Kate, I'm told that you have history of lying. You once told your best friend Amy you saw her husband Mr. Rubin kissing another woman in the bar after he called you a slut for some unknown reason. Charlotte, that's none of your business. Kate, actually, it's my business. We are investigating the murder of Mr. Price. Jessica is innocent. The documentary is about her. You lied about Mr. Price divorcing his wife. He told you that he was still in love with Jessica. He might have to end it with you. Am I lying? Charlotte, get the fuck out of my house, bitch. Who the fuck do you think you are, twat? Adrian, wait. She didn't mean it like that. It's assumption. We just want to know if he was leaving her, or not. His close friends said he idolized her. They told us he broke up with you. Charlotte, that's not true. We loved each other. That whore threatened to divorce him and take half of his money. He said we should take time off till he sorted it out. A week later, we got back together. Later, she had him killed to steal his money and live a comfortable life with some man that she was fucking behind him. Adrian, are you suggesting that Mrs. Price was having an affair? Charlotte, you don't have to be a brain surgeon to figure that out, do you? Kate, how do you know that? Charlotte, I have nothing to say to you. Adrian, did Mr. Price tell you that his wife was having an affair? Charlotte, he didn't have to say anything. I heard things. Why don't you ask Max? He owns a bookstore 4th Street near the beach. He'll tell you everything you need to know. Charlotte continues to talk. Adrian and Kate listen to what she has to say as we pull out dexterously. EXT Max Bookstore Day. A medium shot of Max Bookstore. Adrian and Kate come driving and park their car across the bookstore. They get out of the car, cross the street and walk into the store. Int. Max Bookstore Day. It's a classic bookstore. A man named Max Clark, 40, stands behind the counter. He is looking at a fashion magazine. Adrian and Kate approach him. Kate, hi. Max, hi. Kate, we like to ask you few questions regarding to Mrs. Price if you don't mind. It's not going to take a lot of time. Adrian, we are documentary filmmakers. Max, what is this about? Kate, we are in the middle of investigating the death of Mr. Price. I am told that you knew Mrs. Price intimately. Max, I don't know what you are talking about. Kate, there is a rumor that you had an affair with Jessica. Is it true? There is a silent moment. He then. Max, I don't know if you can call that an affair. It was 4 years ago. She walked into the store. There was nobody in the store. She was horny as a demon on fire. She seduced me, brought an adult book that has pictures of sexual positions, removed her underwear, pointed at a position and asked me to make love to her. Nobody was here. I closed the store. We had sex in front of the counter right here. But I didn't want to encourage it anymore and told her, I love my wife. Our son just graduated from elementary school. Actually, he's my stepson. I didn't want to break their hearts. She understood and left me alone. It was the biggest mistake of my life. Later, I told my wife the truth when I heard that she hired someone to kill her husband. Fortunately, we worked it out. Few people might have known about it. You know, rumor spreads faster than wildfire. But I denied everything when they asked me. This is the first time I told to anyone beside my wife. We pull out dexterously as Max continues to talk. On the soundtrack, music plays. Int. Adrian's convertible, moving, day. Adrian is behind the wheel. Kate is in the passenger seat. She is talking on her cell phone. On the soundtrack, music continues to play. Int. Adrian's convertible, moving, / coffee shop day. Caesar sits at the table with a woman named Rebecca, 32. He's talking to Kate on the phone. We don't hear what they are saying due to the music on the soundtrack. Caesar then gives the phone to Rebecca. Kate and Rebecca talk on the phones. Int. Selena prison visiting room day. Kate and Jessica sit at a table and talk. Kate, do you know that your husband was having an affair with a woman named Rebecca? Jessica, yes and no. Kate, what do you mean yes and no? Jessica, it's complicated. I used to check his cell phone. Not only he was having an affair with Charlotte and Rebecca, but he was also sleeping with a stripper named Vivian. He was paying for her college tuition. He said he just wanted to help her. We had a fight. It was ugly. But we worked out our differences and moved on with our lives. Kate, did you tell that to anyone? Jessica, I told to my lawyers. But they advised me not to bring it. The goal was to keep me out of prison. You know, they thought the prosecutors might use it against me as a motive and chose to leave it out. Kate and Jessica continue to talk. On the soundtrack, music plays. We then pull out of the room dexterously. Int. Adrian's convertible, moving, night. Adrian is behind the wheel. Kate sits in the passenger seat. They're driving in the street of Selena. They are conversing. But we don't hear what they are saying due to the music on the soundtrack. Int. Adrian's convertible, moving, night. Medium shot of Adrian's convertible as Adrian and Kate continue to drive in the street of Selena. Int. Foxy Ladies Club night. A stripper named Vivian, 23, dances exotic. Adrian and Kate sit at a table and watch her. We see a couple of customers enjoying their outings. Part 9. Kate, she's pretty. Adrian, she's cute. Vivian looks at Adrian and gives him a wink. Kate looks at Adrian. Kate, she likes you. Adrian, girls tend to like me for some reason. I don't know what they see in me. Kate, you're beautiful. Adrian, humorously maybe. They exchange soft kisses, and continue to watch Vivian, who is dancing on the stage like a ballerina on fire. Beautiful, innocent, dangerous, luscious, and seductive at the same time. They are taken by her performance. It doesn't even look like stripping. It's a ballet. There is a silent moment. She then. Kate, let me ask you a question. You know Elias Kazar? He's one of the greatest Broadway and film directors of all time. But he named 8 former group theater members. You know, he testified against them before House Un-American Activities Committee. I wrote a paper on him in college as well as the Hollywood 10. Later, when he received an honorary Academy Award in 1999 for Lifetime Achievement, some people refused to applaud. Some gave him standing ovations. My question is, what would you have done in that situation? Would you have stood and applauded or sit and watch in sarcasm? Adrian, that's a very interesting question. I don't really have an answer. I mean, regardless of his political view, we have to acknowledge his contribution to motion picture. You just can't ignore films like A Streetcar Named Desire, On the Waterfront, East of Eden and Splendor in the Grass. He's behind Marlon Brando early success. He taught him method acting and all. He taught Montgomery Clift how to act. He discovered James Dean. He introduced us Warren Beatty, Carol Baker, Eli Wallach, Eva Marie Saint and many more. Plus don't forget he was there to be honored for his work, not for his political view. You ought to applaud, even if you have to fake it. At the same time, in the contrary, you have to understand those who refuse to applaud. His testimony might have robbed some of the greatest artists in the 20th century. They could have been in his shoes receiving Lifetime Achievement Award if it weren't for that incident. It's like baseball unwritten rule. He violated the golden rule, the very thing that makes Hollywood the stuff that dreams are made of. However, you don't want to get too emotional. What's done is done. If what he has accomplished way less than what he destroyed, you don't really have to get up and applaud. But if what he has accomplished way more than what he destroyed, you should applaud. I could be wrong, but I think art is the most important than the person himself sometimes. Kate, that is a very good answer. But are you suggesting we should sit and analyze what he has accomplished as an artist, and then use our wild imagination what those 8 people might have contributed to the art world if he hadn't testified against them, and measure art based on assumption? Adrian, I don't know, there is no right and wrong answer. People have principle. Sometimes, what you have accomplished mean nothing if you do things that disagrees with their axioms. For example, look at Morgan Freeman. He had made over 100 movies. Suppose he grabs a gun and shoots you on the arm by accident. It's a flesh wound. They stitch it as if nothing happens. I'm not going to get up and clap my hands when they honor him for lifetime achievement. That's my theorem. I don't want anything to happen to you, even a scratch by accident. Basically, it comes down to E equals mc2. Kate, what is E equals mc2? Adrian, it's nothing. It's a joke. Einstein's mass energy equivalence. Energy is equal to mass and speed of light. Suppose you travel at the speed of light for 7 years. When you return, you are only aged 7 years, but everything in Earth has aged 500 years. You find yourself in the future. It's same thing. Everybody measures things through his or her principle and establishes a sense of principle in their minds that they live and die for. But only time judges us in the end. Ironically, time is illusion. We are in the present. The past, the present, the future exist at the same time. You can go back in time and change anything. Quantum theory tell you everything that might happen and could possibly have happened in the past, present, even the future, but did not, don't and won't, has already occurred in the past, will happens in the future, and it's actually happening in the present. There is a universe where the future happens in the present. Time plays backward. In some universes, the past exists in the present and all of a sudden it's the future. There is a parallel universe where Elise Khazar kept silent and worked underground like Dalton Trumbo, who wrote Roman Holiday. There is a universe hidden right in front of us where there is no such thing called socialism. Khazar and 8 former group theater members are making a movie about an exotic dancer who knows too much. Quantum world is unpredictable. They continue to talk while watching Vivian. We stay with Vivian for a bit. Int. Foxy Ladies Club. Minutes later. Adrian and Kate question Vivian, who is sitting in front of them. In the background, an exotic dancer named Vanessa can be seen dancing. Kate, what can you tell us about Mr. Price? Vivian, he was the most generous man I had ever met. He asked me out a date. First, I kind of refused. I had a boyfriend, didn't want to give him any idea that I was interested in dating an older man. He kept coming and tipping me everything he has in his pocket. I felt guilty. You know, I do not like taking advantage of people regardless of whether they are rich or not. Then my boyfriend and I broke up. I was hurt and needed someone to lean on. I agreed to go out with him. Later, I found out he was married, thought about ending the relationship, but then I just couldn't walk away. He treated me like a princess in a fairy tale, paid my college tuition and took care of the rent. He also bought me a car. I continue to see him. Then one day, I watched news. They said someone tied his wife and killed him. I was sad but didn't want the cops to think I had anything to do with his murder, got back with my boyfriend and kept quiet. Later, I heard his wife hired a hitman and had him killed. I was into drug. You know, I quit school and then became a full-time stripper. Kate, do you think your boyfriend Michael might have got jealous and killed him in a rage? Vivian, no. Mickey won't hurt a fly. Kate, that's not what I heard. They said he has a violent temper. One time, he saw you going to a customer's car, he broke the guy's window and beat him. Vivian, he is protective of me. Sometimes, he is a little bit crazy. But that doesn't mean he killed Kevin. Kate, are you still with him? Vivian, we were together for a while. But we just got separated a couple weeks ago. Kate, we'd like to talk to him. Do you know where he lives? Vivian, he lives in Miami. Adrian, when was the last time you contacted him? Vivian, 6 weeks ago. He asked me to move to Miami with him. But I told him I had to finish school. I am thinking about returning back to school and get some sort of degree. I dropped out my sophomore year, due to anxiety. But I straightened up my act. Have saved a couple of money. You know, I want to leave this stripping business in good term. Kate, I'll pay your college tuition. You can quit today if you want to and come with us. Vivian, you're joking. Kate, no. I'm not joking. I'm Kate. Vivian, I don't believe it. I thought I have seen you somewhere. But I didn't know it was you. Holy fucking Jesus. You look different with that eyeglass. My God, what are you doing here? Kate removes her fake eyeglass and puts it in her purse. Kate, we're in the middle of investigating the murder of Mr. Price. We think Mrs. Price is innocent. Adrian, it will help us if you tell us what you know. Vivian, I told you everything I know. Mickey didn't do it. Kate, what were you studying? Vivian, psychology. Kate, what are you planning to do with psychology degree? Vivian, I might focus on child psychology. I don't know it yet. Adrian, we will pay your tuition in full. You can study anything you want to. Any school of your choice. Here $5,000 for that dance. Adrian gives her the money. Vivian, thanks. Adrian, you welcome, but tell us where in Miami your boyfriend Michael lives. We want to ask him few questions. Vivian, 4596 Pascal Street Apartment 14C Miami, Florida. I forget the zip code. It's in my house. Adrian, it's okay. I'll get it from internet. Adrian writes it down. Adrian, we'll contact you. Adrian and Kate get up. Kate, do you have a ride home? Vivian, I took a taxi. My car is at a mechanic shop. Kate, we'll give you a ride home. Come with us. Vivian, I have to get back on stage. Kate, we'll take care of it. You can quit. Vivian, I can't just quit. Kate, you're going to focus on school. I'll pay for everything. You can stay at my house in Los Angeles as long as you wish. Vivian, you're fucking with me. Kate, no I am not. You said you were going college. I don't want you to waste your life in this place. You're a beautiful girl. Vivian, thanks. Let me get my stuffs. I'll meet you outside. She goes to the dressing room. Adrian and Kate walk toward the exit. Adrian, humorously, what are you doing? Kate, what does it look like I am doing? Adrian, you're sending her to Los Angeles to live with us. Kate, is that a problem? They stand lips to lips. Adrian, no. They exchange soft kisses. Kate, she will stay at my house. It's empty. They exit the club. EXT Foxy Ladies Club night. Adrian and Kate stand outside. Adrian, let me ask her few more questions about her boyfriend. He might have told her something. Kate, do you think she has something to do with Mr. Price's death? Adrian, I doubt it. Maybe her boyfriend might have gotten jealous and did something stupid. Kate, how are we going to go to Miami? Adrian, we will rent a jet in the morning and hear what he has to say. Kate, sure. Adrian, let me get the car. They exchange soft kisses. Adrian goes to get the car. Kate waits at the door. We stay with Kate. Then Vivian joins her. She is wearing a yellow dress. Vivian, where is your boyfriend? Kate, he is coming. He went to get the car. There is a silent moment. Kate looks at her dress. Kate, I like your dress. Vivian, thanks. Kate and Vivian wait for Adrian. On the soundtrack, music plays. Adrian comes driving and stops the car next to them. Kate gets in the passenger seat. Vivian gets in the back. They drive away. Int. Adrian's convertible, moving. Adrian, Kate, and Vivian continue to drive. Adrian looks at Vivian in the rear-view mirror. She gives him a sweet smile. On the soundtrack, music continues to play. EXT private jet, flying, day. A small private jet fly in the air. Int. Private jet, flying, day. Adrian and Kate sit in the VIP. They are conversing while sipping champagnes from glasses. But we don't hear what they are saying. He must have said something romantic. Kate puts her champagnes aside, sits on his lap, talk between soft kisses. They then kiss French. EXT rental Mercedes convertible, moving, day. Adrian is behind the wheel. Kate is in the passenger seat. They drive in the street of Miami. EXT Pascal apartment building 4593 day. An established shot of Pascal apartment building. It has 4 set of compartments, A, B, C, D. Adrian and Kate come driving a rental Mercedes convertible and park the car in front of the building. They get out of the car and walk toward the building. A young girl, 12, leaves the building to walk her dog. Adrian quickly runs toward the building and holds the door before it closes. He lets Kate in and enters as well. Int. Pascal apartment building 4593 day. Adrian and Kate take the staircase and come to apartment C, at 2nd floor. Kate rings the bell. A young man, Michael, 26, opens the door. Kate, hi. I am Mary. We came to ask you few questions about Mr. Price. Your girlfriend Vivian gave us your address. She thought you might help us. Adrian, we are making a documentary. Kate, can we come in? Michael is taken by Kate's beauty. He just lets them in. Int. Michael's apartment day. They come to the living room. They sit at coffee table. Kate, where were you on May 23 between 12 a.m. to 1 a.m.? Michael, I was with Vivian. Kate, she said you left around 12 a.m. after you had a fight. Where did you go? Michael, I went to see Julia. Kate, who is Julia? Michael, she is my girlfriend. Kate, I thought Vivian was your girlfriend? Michael, she used to be my girlfriend. But she was fucking a dead guy. I just wanted to get even with her. So I started fooling around with Julia. Kate, what did you do that night? Michael, what do usually a man and a woman do sitting in the living room alone while watching pornography? I'll let you use your imagination. I know you're some kind of screenwriter. You are Kate. Vivian told me on the phone. You were coming to question me. Please don't hold it against her. She told me she wasn't supposed to reveal your secret and warned me not to say anything, just wanted to impress me. We kind of broke up few weeks ago. She thought I dumped her. You know, she's the most beautiful girl in the state of Florida. Not to mention very ambitious. She has dreams, a bright future ahead of her. I didn't want her to go to the same direction I was heading. I made a clean breakup while we were still in love. You're a writer. You're an actress. You understand what I am trying to say. There are a lot of temptations, drugs, sex, money, what have you. I don't know how the devil chooses his victim. I started selling drugs and lost my soul forever. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Maybe you need cocaine in your movie set someday. I'm more than willing to provide you the cleanest milk powder you have ever snorted in your lives. Kate, we're not really interested in drugs. We just want to know what happened that night. Vivian told us you would kill Kevin if she continued to see him. Michael, I said it out of love. We're talking about a soul who doesn't know the difference between love and addiction. She was my drug. I was addicted to her. I thought about spending the rest of my life with her. But at the same time, I got mixed up with the wrong crowd, selling drugs to college students, club goers, regular clients, and getting high with my own supplies. I have done ton of cocaine. I have fucked a lot of college girls, strippers, Asian kittens, steamy Latino butterflies, black luscious ghetto angels, and beautiful Eastern European supermodels. I busted nuts on their tits. I came on their faces. I did bunch of freakish things. But when I'm in heroin, I'm a different person, just wanted to be left alone. If you think I kill a man for a girl who doesn't have a pot to piss in, I won't hold it against you. I think that's the most romantic thing a man would do for a woman. Nothing is sexier than taking another man's life for love. But this is a real world. We all have demons that want to destroy our souls. We cannot really offer to murder folks for love anymore. It's sad. It's not because of the fear of spending the rest of our lives in prison, but our conscience will drive us into madness. We are already wild. The brain come with all sort of things. A voice in your head tells you to do this and that. When you finally do it, you get punished by none other than your conscience. I wish I killed him myself to show her how much I love her. It's the fucking truth. It kills me to think about her eyes. It's better to be a brave just for half second and kill for something beautiful than do nothing the rest of your life and die in vain. Michael continues to talk as we pull out the apartment. On the soundtrack, music comes. EXT rental Mercedes convertible, moving, day. Adrian and Kate drive in the street of Miami. Adrian is behind the wheel. Kate is in the passenger seat. On the soundtrack, music continues to play. They are silent. The music then falls in the background and plays softly. Adrian, what do you think? Kate, he didn't do it. Adrian, why is that? Kate, he said, we all have demons that want to destroy our soul. We can't offer to kill for love anymore. There is silent moment. Adrian, humorously, I will kill for you in a heartbeat. Kate, I was just wondering. Maybe he was talking about his addiction. It might have affected his judgment. He couldn't quite come to terms with his fear and desire. He is afraid of being hunted by his own consciousness. But he said, nothing sexier than killing a man for love. Would you kill for love? Adrian, depend on the situation. You know I'm a writer. I can come up with a million reasons to kill for love. You know, including jealousy, protection, money, sex, power, mental illness, passion, etc. But one excuse to kill for thee. I wouldn't hesitate to eradicate Satan in hell and all his demons for the thrill of it. Kate, do you really believe Satan exists? Adrian, nothing scares me more than Satan. I mean, I remember when I came to Los Angeles for the first time. I went to Hollywood to look around. There were a shooting. It's a drive-by. I was excited. I didn't know anything. I thought it was Boys in the Hood. People were running for their lives. I was going toward the shooting to see what's up. Later, there were a free hard rock concert. People were standing everywhere, talking, mingling, drinking beers, just having good time. It seemed they didn't care about the concert. Then came loud drum beats, followed by guitar. Everybody stopped what they were doing and moved toward the stage, shaking their heads subliminally like zombies. Marilyn Mason took the center stage and began to sing. I didn't understand a single word what he was saying. But I knew he was into Satan. He looked like the devil himself. Kate, Marilyn Mason is cool. I enjoy listening to his music. It has nothing to do with Satan. Adrian, anyway, they said you need a little bit vice in your soul to give birth to a dancing star. Kate, what's your vice? Adrian, you're my vice. Kate, with counting me. Adrian, Kate Upton dancing cat daddy. Kate, really? Adrian, I am joking. Maybe Lindsey Vonn and Miley Cyrus. They both would do it. Kate, why did you say Lindsey Vonn? Adrian, I do not know. She looks a little bit like Sharon Stone. I mean, I was kind of working on this project titled Speed Demon loosely based on Lindsey Vonn. I watched a couple of Winter Games and highlights. She is pretty amazing. Skating close to 90 miles per hour, winning all kinds of races, crashing and getting injured, tearing her knee, rehabilitating and getting back on top. You know, she is sexy as hell. I thought I could create something fascinating. It is a story about a girl who trains hard for winter's games. She dominates them, then pushes herself to be the best ever. Actually, she is so good. She challenges the men in Winter X Games, and one of the men whom she is challenging is her boyfriend. She has trained with him day and night. He is the best. He has won a lot of gold medals. But she beats him while millions watching in ESPN. Kate, that's pretty interesting. Adrian, I have not written it yet. It is in the back of my mind. I will work on it, change few things here and there. You know, she crashes into something, tears her knees and breaks up with her boyfriend who has won a lot of gold medals. While healing, she finds new romance with a hippie skater. He happens to be the best as well, but hasn't really got a chance to show what he can do on the slope, due to injuries that he sustained a long time ago. He helps her to stay focused. She gets 64% all right. Regardless, she trains with him day and night. In the night, they light the snow with disco light, blast dance music and trains like there is no tomorrow. She is always all out. He teaches her a couple of amazing tricks. She gets them right away. In the meantime, she is kind of surprised that he is pretty good. She asks him why he can't do it in tournaments. He tells her it's his nerve. The game is decided by few nanoseconds. If you cannot control your nerve, if you worry about you are going to crash, if you play it safe, you will lose the edge, they will cost you those precious nanoseconds. You then finish second, third or last. Nobody really cares if you have injuries or issues in the brain. If you do not finish number one, you will be forgotten. He tells her don't make anybody feel sorry for you. It's up to her to be prepared mentally as well as physically, get back in the slope, win everything and put the sport back on the map. Without her, the sport doesn't exist. They make love in the snow. She continues to train like Rocky IV versus Drago and gets back in shape. She wins a couple of winter games while she is still in pain. Later, they construct her knees with stem cell. They grew new tendinitis and repaired her ACL and MRA. She skis like Superwoman, wins a gold medal and then goes against her old boyfriend who has won all kinds of races in Red Bull X game. The winner takes it all. She beats him. The end. Kate, that is interesting. What about Miley Cyrus? Why is she your vice? Adrian, I just like her style. She doesn't apologize for living to the fullest. Kate, that's not vice. I know you, Air. You got something on her. Adrian, okay. I did 2 music videos with her. One is a little bit similar to Madonna's Like a Prayer and Justify My Life mixed with quantum physics. It's pretty explicit. You know, she doesn't hold back anything. You have to stretch your imagination and give her what she wants. The second is pure pornography. I can't describe it in words. Regardless, she's possessed. There is a living and breathing sex goddess inside of her. Something about her promises you erotic gratification. You can see it in her eyes. Nobody hasn't figured her out yet. First, she seems a princess. There is a seductive vulnerability about her. Then, all of the sudden, she glows like the fire in hell. You know, all your joys and sufferings are replaced with sexual temptation in a blink of an eye. She takes you to a place where roguish seraphs and celestial beings make love till they burst like violet stardust flying across the skies disguised as ravens. You see fallen angels, saints and false messiahs, who are condemned for lusting and blasphemy, participating in sadomasochistic sex and orgy in heaven turned to netherworld. Yet, it's only you and her. She is fantasy. No soul can resist her. And when you think you have seen it all, she has you on your knees with her sense of sensuality. You find yourself worshipping goddess of love and desire. You wonder how she does it. But still she has nothing on you. There is a silent moment. She then. Kate, what do you like the most about me? Adrian, your eyes, lips, and beautiful face. Kate, what about them? Adrian, to begin with. Thy lips belong to the angels in heaven. The gods and goddesses don't know if it's because thy lips desire to feel passion and defy the age of reason. Thy upper succulent lip is possessed by moist tender love. Tortured divinely by fever yet curved with treason. Thy lower dulcet lip is blessed by saints and fueled with instinct, it's sweeter than carnation in spring season. Or they ache a spirit that breathes with feeling. And ignite an irresistible impulse for osculation. Which the relief of this overwhelming need can only be cured with French kiss, and the soul spurred like splendid luminescence in the reminiscent of cerise butterflies. And tulips exploding across the fabric of the cosmos. Either you're meant to be kissed intimately, lustfully, and passionately, or infinitely with heart and soul. Certainly all of the above, yet the thought of your face and eyes give me out-of-body experience day and night. It's more delicious than love at first sight. Kate, that's quite compliment. But I would have loved to promise you erotic gratification like Miley Cyrus. I saw the leaked music video that you did. I like how she was sitting in the bathtub and taking shower. You know, good Miley versus bad Miley. Good Miley closed her eyes. The soap turned into bubbles. All of the sudden, her copies were in space inside the bubbles, dancing erotic. In the meantime, bad Miley applied soap on her hair and vagina. They said you have it in the director cut, Miley Cyrus fingering herself while taking shower. Regardless, I like how you did it. You know, some of them were nude. And dancing in bubbles that were filled with smoke. Some of them were wearing S&M and tied with chains. They were dancing as if they were ballerinas on fire, while the bubble floating in the air. Some of them were angels. They had wings. Some of them were dancing naked in the snow. Some of them were inside the water. The bubbles were filled with water, etc. She then found herself in exotic universe lying on a mattress while touching herself. An angel gave her real oral sex. You showed her vagina and everything. They said it's actually pornography. Adrian, that's nothing. I mean it's just music video. That's why everybody makes a big deal about it. If it were a regular movie, they'd say it's just another X-rated film that I did. Kate, I heard you wrote a screenplay for her titled Terminator X in a week. Adrian, it's nothing serious. I was watching Terminator 2 in between filming and all. I didn't really like post-apocalyptic Terminator that they keep making. So I wrote it while I was sitting there. It's same thing. Kate, what is it about? Adrian, the year is 2200. The human and artificial intelligence learn to live peacefully at the peak of science and technology. Yet there is a war going on. Not confrontation with guns but mind battle of power. The artificial intelligent who look, reason and feel like human, think that they are more advanced and sophisticated than mankind. Yet they still need humanoid for the sole purpose of understanding humans' emotion, the soul, and complexity of hominid evolution. They think life is coded with a lot of potential, including instinct, genetic mutations, and abilities to inhabit the universe and go beyond. Meanwhile, humans are dependent on machines. They need them if they want to conquer infinity. You know, to travel to space, find human next home and all. But machines are controlling people's life. They make them slave with advanced computer games, addictive software programs and fake sex operating systems. Humans begin to lose their soul slowly. Machines hold all the key places in the government. Then a highly skilled hacker named Billy hacks into one of the machine's mainframes and leads a revolution, which throws the machines off guard. The artificial intelligence sent Terminator X to kill Billy's mother Mia, played by Miley Cyrus, a 22-year-old college student at UCLA. In the meantime, Billy sends a robot named Robert to look after his mother. Terminator X is the most advanced Terminator machine ever created. He operates through quantum computing. It can turn into sand, fire, water, air, and anything he touch and see. He was supposed to be multiple places at the same time. But I edited that part in order to keep it simple. Instead, he is just the ultimate killing machine. He is not aluminum. In the other hand, it is hard to tell if Robert, who is sent to protect Mia, is a machine or human. He looks, thinks, feels, and reasons like human. Terminator X comes to Mia's college to kill her at UCLA. Robert saves her life after they have classic shootouts. Robert, Mia, and Tori, Mia's best friend, escape with Tori's futuristic car. Since Tori is shot in the arm, they take her to the hospital. Robert explains to Mia that he is from the future. Her yet-to-be-born son sent him to protect her. She doesn't know whether to believe him or to stay away from him. It freaks her out. But she has never seen anything like Terminator X, who came close to kill her. If it were not for Robert, she would have been dead. He could have easily killed her. Robert saved her life. Should she trust him? He is a machine. Yet before she makes up her mind, Terminator X comes to the hospital. He kills whoever stands in his way in cold blood. Robert and Terminator X have another action-defining shootout that makes the rest of Terminator films rated G. Robert gets the best of Terminator X. Robert and Mia then get in an ambulance drive away and come to her movie director uncle's house in Beverly Hills. Robert tells Mia that her son hacked into the artificial intelligent mainframe and changed the power between humans and machines. Mia asks him why she should trust him. Since Robert is artificial intelligent, he can be helping the machine. Robert tells her that he has free will. He chooses to help her not because he is following order. He believes in friendship. We all are made of atoms. Regardless of our molecule structures, we must do the right thing. Mia and Robert get into the computer and access into the future and contact Billy in quantum tech. Bill tries to give them more information about Terminator X, but they are interrupted by Terminator X, who comes to her uncle's house disguised as her boyfriend. He shoots Mia in the side of her belly. Terminator X and Robert have a major fight. Robert electrocutes him with the main power source in the basement after they fall through the living room floor. Robert carries Mia, who lies unconscious, places her in her uncle's Mercedes convertible and brings her to her rock star father house. Robert then performs advanced surgery and removes the bullet from her belly and saves her life. Later, Mia gains consciousness. She is happy to see her father James. Mia hasn't spoken him for years after he and her mother divorced. She is also thrilled to see Robert, whom she's in love with secretly. Mia thinks he is a real human being, despite the fact watching Robert removing bullets from his body. She has witnessed his flesh healing like Wolverine, X-Men, as if nothing happened. Robert tells her they don't have a lot of time. They must leave as soon as possible. They drive in the streets of Los Angeles and come to South Central at Rick's house. Mia hit Rick with her car by accident at the beginning of the movie while he was running away from the police. She hid him in her car and helped him recover from his injury at her house. They ended up being best friends. Rick, who is an aspiring hip-hop artist, welcomes them. Mia and Robert keep low profiles. In the meantime, Robert has developed feeling toward Mia. They cook all kinds of foods. He can't eat, but he is the best chief in the world. He has access to all sort of recipes in the web. They watch movie. They talk about the future, her son, and all. They listen to music. She is aspiring actress, singer, and model as well as a writer. Mia dances and sings for Robert. She continues to fall head over heels in love with him without her knowledge. They dance slow. She then tells him that she is in love with him. But Robert tells her he is a robot. He will remain the same without going through major changes for a long period of time, despite the fact that he wants to grow old with her and spend the rest of his life making her feel the most beautiful woman alive. They kiss and make love. The next day, Robert and Mia contact Billy, who tells them they might have to use a chemical called Sumbrium to stop Terminator X and disable his main CPU. In the meantime, Terminator X intercepts the message and comes to kill them. He kills a couple of hip hood boys and gangsters who stand his ways and confronts Robert. They have a mind-boggling fight that makes the fight between Agent Smith and Neo in the Matrix trilogy rated PG. Robert is unbelievable. He knows all kinds of martial arts. He hits him with mind-boggling kung fu. But Terminator X is out of this world. He is pure killing machine. He keeps getting better and better. He beats Robert inches to death. Mia then shoots Terminator X in the ear, one of his soft spot. Terminator X goes crazy. He tries to get hold of himself. Mia helps Robert, puts him in a car. They drive in the streets of Los Angeles and come to a chemical power plant to get Sumbrium. Part 10. But the securities will not allow her to pass the gate. She breaks the gate with her car and drives down the facility. Robert is too weak to do anything. She leaves him in the car, takes a guard as hostage, and marches down the building to get the Sumbrium. The securities call police. Hundreds of cops and SWAT show up at the building. Terminator X, who has already recovered from his wound, arrives at the scene as well, kills most of the cops as he enters into the building and goes after Mia. She fires at him in vain. He grabs her throat and begins to squeeze the life out of her. Yet, out of nowhere comes Robert and shoots him in the head. Boom. His brain explodes at the spot. Miraculously, Terminator X grows a new head. He has already upgrades his system into something phenomenon, continues to pursue Robert and Mia. Robert and Terminator X have one of the best fight in the history of cinema. It keeps getting better and better. In the end, Terminator X kills Robert seemingly. He then comes to murder Mia. She runs down the building. Terminator X follows her. Finally, Mia uses the chemical and melts him. Yet while melting, Terminator X still manages to come after her, stabs her in the side of her abdomen and pulls her toward him. When he is about to kill her, Robert comes out of death, shoots his arm off and saves her life again. Robert then grabs the remaining of Terminator X, who is still alive, and jumps into the main chemical solution with him. They both die and disappear. Mia can't stop crying. She is hurt emotionally, physically, and mentally. Paramedics takes her to the hospital. Later, Mia recovers from her wounds and finds out that she is pregnant with Robert's baby. The first human and robot baby ever. In the meantime, we find out that Billy is half human and half robot. His eyes turn into red. The end. Kate, that's interesting. Adrian, I didn't put a lot of effort into it. It's loosely based on Terminator Part 1 and 2. You know, I just made it more seductive. If she doesn't like it, I'll write her something lascivious and original. Kate, humorously, is Jennifer Lawrence going to kill her? Adrian, playing along, she won't kill her. Kate, do you have anything against Jennifer Lawrence? Adrian, no, I love her more than life itself. I actually wrote her Tropic of Cancer. I am just afraid to show it to her. It's kind of erotic. Kate, what's it about? Adrian, it's about a girl named Jane who goes to Paris to visit her best friend, becomes a model by accident on purpose and ends up being a muse to a famous writer, amazing painters, a photographer, and a young filmmaker. In the meantime, she turns Paris upside down, partying all night and having the time of her life. She drinks like New Year, does drugs, poses nude, and make love to male and female models that she finds attractive. Later, Jane falls in love with an actor/musician named Calvin. He breaks her heart. She turns to sex and drugs. You know, she brings 2-3 guys to her apartment, does drugs, and make love to them. Jane then conquers her demons, focuses on her dream, has always loved painting. She paints amazing abstract paintings and does a gallery show. The art world praises her work. She likes taking photos. Jane takes beautiful pictures of Paris and erotic photos of men and women, kissing and making love, and publishes photography books titled, I Love Paris. She has always wanted to write a novel. Jane writes a novel based on her experience in Paris titled Total Eclipse of the Heart and gains a lot of respect from critics. She has dreamed of making films since she was a little girl. Jane makes a movie that she wrote and directed titled, Tropic of Cancer, which is the movie title is taken from, and wins César Award for Best First Feature Film. In the end, Jane finds peace and true love, falls in love with a man named John. He is a hologram artist. He was her best friend and did her nude hologram. They made love by accident. It was spontaneous. Yet, she felt awkward. It ruined their friendship. However, John supported her when she was down to her last luck. Until that time, the writer, Richard, wrote a book and dedicated to her. She was madly in love with him. He's like between F. Scott Fitzgerald and Ernest Hemingway. Richard adored her. But she couldn't stand his drinking, smoking, and women. Jane then fell in love with Ted. He was a photographer. He worked for French Vogue. He took some of the most beautiful pictures of Jane. They were simply breathtaking. Ted captured her glamour, eroticism, alluring composure, and sassy and eternal grace, and published a photo book featuring Jane under the title of Jane of the Arc. We don't know how they did it, out of this world. It was instant classic. It had a couple of beautiful nude photos of Jane as well as S&M and erotic photographs. Jane liked Ted, but it was only sex, and has never felt beautiful in her life. The photographs not only captured her the very spirit that was placed in her flesh, but they also put us in a trance and freeze time in our souls forever. However, Jane couldn't connect with Ted emotionally due to the fact she wanted more from life. He's down to earth. Jane thinks he might be one of the best photographers in the world, but she felt he was too modest. She has to leave him while she is still in love with him. Later, Jane involves with Fabio and Loris. They are painters, did some of the best and timeless portraits of Jane. She posed nude for them, but can't stand sitting or lying one place for long hours. Fabio and Loris were young. She just enjoyed making love to them, threesome. That was it. They paint on her body while making love to her. It is one of the highlights of the movie. She knows what she is looking for, her heart is seeking something forbidden, and she can feel it in her belly. The filmmaker Jim captured her raw sensuality, amazing talent, stimulating beauty, and innocent yet sophisticated spirit. He recognized her real emotions and strengths better than God. But he was obsessed with the film. Jim loved her. However, he was more in love with the girl in the screen than Jane herself. He told her that she is born to be a star. Jane didn't find that romantic. Instead, she ended up falling in love with Calvin. He's an actor/musician. Jim made Calvin go down on her. Jane and Calvin did a couple of love scenes together. They had real sex. She felt it was part of acting, just wanted to give 100%. Jane didn't want to fake it despite the fact Jim told her she didn't have to do it. Actually, it was her idea. Jane had always been comfortable with Calvin. They smoked weed while filming. She loves to do shotgun, kiss French and fools around with her leading man in order to get to know the person in between filming. It is all method acting to her. Then came a sex scene. She just said, I wanted to do it for real. The director asked Calvin if he was up to the challenge. Calvin, who just broke up with his French actress girlfriend, said he was down. They had a couple real sex takes like porn stars. Yet she kept it authentic. She acted like as if she did not know him once the camera stopped rolling. Later, she saw him sing at the set and fell madly in love with him. They began to date, made love 3 times a day. They just couldn't get enough of each other. When they made films, if there was a love scene, they would tell the directors they want to do real takes. Later, Jane caught Calvin with a model named Sasha while they were having sex in the porch. She was hurt. It was her favorite place to make love, looking over the scenic view of Paris, but she forgave him. Jane is free-spirited and not constrained by conventional wisdom of love, which sex is top priority and should be sacred between a man and a woman who are dating. You can bend the rule a little bit. The truth was far from it. Jane was hurt emotionally like Saint Joan of the Arc as if she were burned alive. But Calvin made up to her, bought her a puppy, apologized to the bottom of his soul, wrote her a beautiful love song and sang it for her. They made love all night in round candlelight. Calvin promised her he'd never break her heart ever again. Later, he bought her an expensive green Versace gown to celebrate their one-year boyfriend and girlfriend thing that they had going. She was in tears, burnt the gown in front of him. It had nothing to do with anything. She just thought the color green was lackluster. It's everywhere. You look at the trees. They are green. You look at the grass. It is green. Leaves are green. She felt he was trying to hide her. It was supposed to be a special day. She wants something like red Victoria's Secret linger or purple underwear or pink nightgown. It would have been romantic. All the color in the world he has to fucking pick green. She went nut. He apologized to her and told her he saw Scarlett Johansson wearing green at the Oscar and thought it looked tantalizing. Actually, the person, who sold the dress, told him it was the same dress that Scarlett worn at the Oscar. She said she didn't give a fuck if it were worn by an angel in heaven. He ignored the fact she had told him she didn't like the color green when it came to dress. Calvin said he was truly sorry. And bought her a light purple Victoria's Secret fishnet lingerie and made love to her. Later, when they talked about her beauty at a party, Calvin was a little bit drunk. Jane heard him say that she was okay. She was devastated. He could have easily said, she is dead drop beautiful, or a goddess. They were playing a game, and were rating girls and guys based on looks. If the person is attractive, or not that attractive, they would say, forget about her, or him, then okay, followed by dead drop beautiful, at the top, a goddess or god. She was in the kitchen and heard everything. Later, Jane told him she didn't want to see him again, had lost it, did a lot of drugs, cried day and night, even in her sleep, and drank till her eyes turns to blood. She partied all night and involved in casual sex with total strangers. Then John did a beautiful hologram of Jane and lifted up her spirit. They made love. She went out and accomplished all that I told you. They get married at the Notre Dame Cathedral. She gives birth to a boy, and they live happily ever after. The end. Kate, it's not that bad. But what's hologram art? Adrian, it's similar to Tupac hologram or Michael Jackson. However, it's more advanced. Gene did it in the form of portrait. He recorded her with a video for a week. He then turned it into hologram and placed it in the living room in a glass box, blended with fluorescent light. You just switch it on. The hologram image appears. You see her smiles, dances, talk, etc. It looks beautiful at night. Kate, that's quite creative. But I like the story. She was a muse to artists, a photographer, a writer, a director, and an actor/musician. Basically, she fucked all the artists with no string attached till the actor told her she looked okay. He was supposed to be her boyfriend. I mean, I don't really believe in appearance that much. But still, I would be devastated if you told me I looked okay. Adrian, you are the most beautiful woman in the cosmos. Kate, whatever. Adrian, anyway, it's inspired by Madame X, a painting by John Singer Sargent that I saw at the New York Metropolitan Museum. Virginie Amélie Avnogatro, who was born in New Orleans but grew up in the Golden Age of France. She was a Parisian socialite known for her beauty, posed for famous artists. Kate, I think I might have heard of her. Madame X sounds familiar. It's a play about a woman who cheats on her husband. He throws her out of the house. 20 years later, she shoots and kills a man who is going to blackmail her husband, so her son wouldn't find about her scandalous past. Ironically, her son is assigned to defend her without his knowledge that she is his mother. Adrian, I know what you are talking about. But that's a different story. They made a couple of movies based on the play Madame X, including in 1966 starring Lana Turner. Kate, Tropic of Cancer sounds pornography compared to Madame X. Adrian, it is pornography. Actually, I wrote 2 scripts, Tropic of Cancer and Madame X. But the stories were similar. I killed Madame X. I might have to find another actress who fits Madame X character, pale-skinned and Coke bottle shaped like Emma Stone, and rewrite it from scratch. Kate, what is Madame X about? Adrian pulls over next to the street. Adrian, actually, the story is not about Madame X. It's about Marta, aka Madame X. You know, instead of the Golden Age of France, Belle Époque, it's set in the modern-day France. I wrote it under the title of Cover Girl. Marta is a model and aspiring actress. She stands 5.6. She is not as tall as the other model. She lives in Paris and is in love with a married man named Richard. He is a CEO of Joan of Arc, a fictional fashion magazine based in France. Yet, Richard tells Marta that he is not going to leave his wife, Josephine. He still loves her. Marta is upset. She has few drinks and passes out. An artist named Nicholas, her neighbor, finds her sleeping next to his door, carries her to his apartment, places her on his bed and sketches her portrait while she is asleep. The next morning, she wakes up and realizes she's not in her apartment. Nicholas makes her a breakfast and asks her if she wants to have dinner at his apartment. Marta accepts his invitation. It's a date. Later, Nicholas prepares all kinds of delicious meals. They have dinner. They then take a walk in the city of Paris and kiss in the bridge. They return back to the apartment and make love. Marta and Nicholas start a romantic relationship. Nicholas does a couple of nude portraits of Marta and does a gallery. Later, fashion show in Tokyo, Marta runs into Richard, who happens to be sitting and watching the show at the catwalk. She gets distracted, loses her focus, falls near the exit and breaks her leg. At the hospital, Richard comes to visit her. She tells him she is fine. But Richard senses Marta might still have a feeling for him and asks her out. Marta and Richard come to a romantic restaurant in Tokyo. They have sushi. Richard tells Marta he's separated with his wife. They're in the middle of divorcing, and he wants Marta back. But Marta tells him she is in love with Nicholas. She has moved on. And she doesn't want anything from Richard. Marta returns to Paris. Later, her leg heals. Marta tells Nicholas that she wants to pursue an acting career in Los Angeles. Marta and Nicholas move to Los Angeles. She immediately gets a lead role in Forbidden Romance next to an actor named Luis. He's a good-looking man. Luis seduces Marta. She likes him. But she doesn't really want to jeopardize her relationship with Nicholas. In the meantime, she becomes a star overnight. The media is obsessed with her name, Madame X. She appears on covers of all kinds of fashion and entertainment magazines and stays in the spotlight. Later, in the height of her career, Marta leaves Nicholas and begins to date Luis. Meanwhile, her career continues to take off. Marta and Luis do a couple of movies together. Luis then asks Marta to marry him. Marta accepts reluctantly. Yet, few days before her wedding, Marta runs into Nicholas at a record store. She sees Bryan Adams' classic "Everything I Do It For You," on Nicholas's hand. He used to play for her. It's her favorite song of all time. They used to dance and make love while playing the song. Marta gets taken by a beautiful emotion. Nicholas asks her if he can cook for her, one last time. But Marta insists that she will cook. They buy groceries. They cook together and eat while talking of the past and drinking wine. They dance slow and kiss. But before things lead to anywhere, Marta tells him she has to get back to Luis. In the end, at wedding chapel, Marta walks down the aisle escorted by her uncle and stands next to Luis. In the middle of wedding vow, Marta drops her veil and runs away. She takes Luis's Aston Martin and comes to Nicholas, who is sitting at the beach, near their beach house. They kiss passionately. They get back together and live happily ever after. Kate, it's a beautiful story. Adrian, it's inspired a little bit by Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's. It borrows a little bit theme from Billy Wilder's The Apartment starring Jack Lemmon and Shirley MacLaine as well. It has also a little bit Kate Moss here and there. I thought about what Madame X would be like if she might have lived in modern day. Kate, I like it. It sounds better than Tropic of Cancer. Adrian, they have similar. They both are models. But I like Tropic of Cancer. It's raw. I saw Jennifer Lawrence in David O. Russell's American Hustle. I didn't know she looked salacious. I kind of fell in love with her. I read a little bit Tropic of Cancer. You know, the first 3 pages. I just liked the title. I don't know what the book is about. The title fits Jennifer Lawrence's style. I wrote 125 pages screenplay about a girl who goes to Paris and turns the city of love upside down. Tropic of Cancer is abstract. But I didn't show it to anyone. Kate, why? Adrian, it's a little bit graphic. It has few real sex scenes. She is American sweetheart. I have already written a romantic drama for her titled You, Me, Forever. You know, I was trying to figure her out and all. I heard her saying something like You, Me, Forever in an interview that she did with David Letterman a while ago. I saw it in YouTube. I wrote a screenplay based on You, Me, Forever. It's a love story. I then renamed it Love Is Made for Me and You, Forever. Kate, what's it about? Adrian, Caspian is an inventor. He has invented millions things and marketed his idea. Yet he ends up getting sued, because the things that he invents are known to cause all kinds of drawbacks. He then falls in love with a beautiful girl named Veronica, who works at an advertising agency in New York City played by Jennifer Lawrence. He runs into her at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It's love at first sight. They hit it off. Then Veronica falls in coma after a heart complication. Caspian invents an artificial heart that functions like a regular heart. It's the best ever. The doctors use the heart and bring Veronica back from coma. Then, a pharmaceutical company run by a man named Nathaniel Winston starts multimillion-dollar business, using Caspian's idea. They create millions of artificial hearts and make fortune. Caspian profits from the invention as well. Veronica and Caspian don't have to do anything as long as they live. They just travel around the world and make love every romantic city they could think of it, including Paris, Rome, Madrid, London, Florence and Tokyo. They continue to fall in love head over heels, to the point of no return without knowing it. Then the good old problems slowly creep back. The artificial hearts that Caspian invented cause serious illness and blood cancer. Caspian gets sued for billions. Veronica comes to his defense. She testifies and helps him win the case, despite the fact the artificial heart that she received has led to leukemia. Since Caspian loves her more than life itself, he gives her his own heart, and receives an artificial heart. Later, Caspian dies from heart complication. Veronica gives birth to Caspian's baby boy. She names him Romeo. Veronica visits Caspian's grave. She puts a rose on the tombstone. Veronica then takes out a drawing of a heart drawn by Romeo. Tears fill her eyes in a heartbeat, fall down by her cheeks and drop on the drawing. She wrote me, you, forever on the drawing, place it next to the gravestone, put the rose on top of it, says I love you and walks away. The end. Kate, it's not bad. Adrian, actually, I am still working on it. You know, it's a typical beautiful romantic story. There are no dimensions. A lot of girls would fall in love with the film. It's simple. But critics will kill me. They will say, here is another romantic movie about a man meets beautiful girl. They have cool professions. They make love and all, you know. Instead, Veronica is a lawyer. Caspian runs into her at the courtroom where he has to appear for inventing one of his unsuccessful products. You know, a car that travels in the air. It was a talk of the world. But it fell from the skies and injured few people. In the other hand, Veronica deals with serious cases. Caspian walks into a wrong courtroom by accident and sees her defending a man who committed a stupid crime, hit and run. Veronica looks at him and can't focus. It's love at first sight. Caspian continues to watch her. He thinks she is the most gorgeous girl he has ever seen in his life. She thinks he is handsome. Veronica ends up losing the case. Caspian misses his court appointment. Later, he finds her at the museum. It is fate. They hit it on. Basically, it's the same thing I just told you. I might add few courtroom drama here and there. Later when he is sued, he hires her to be his lawyer. Veronica defends him despite the fact the artificial heart that she received led into leukemia. You know, instead of just testifying, she brings down the courtroom with amazing courtroom performance like Tom Cruise in A Few Good Men and wins the case. Caspian then gives his heart and receives artificial heart even though Veronica tells him that she doesn't want it. She would rather die than live without him. But Caspian tells her that she is carrying his baby. Not only she has to be alive and in good health in order to give the baby any chance of surviving, and deliver it without complication, but he also doesn't want the baby to grow up without a mother. Caspian sacrifices his life to save 2 lives. I'll add few more drama here and there. Kate, it's a beautiful story. But I like Madam X. It's sexy. Emma Stone can easily pull it off. Adrian, I actually wrote Madam X under the title cover girl with Emma Stone in mind. She looks exactly like Virginie Amélie Madam X. But I changed it. I didn't feel like writing a periodic movie. You know, back then, women were not supposed to express their opinion. They can't even vote. Painting doesn't do it for them anymore. I mean nowadays, there are photographs, music, fashion, internet, and motion picture. Women are desirous. They dream as if they never want to wake up. You know, I like a woman who wants it all. At the same time, her passion makes her vulnerable. In the sense, Madam X is a girl who walked in beauty as if she were a butterfly, yet softer than air in the spring and brighter than the sun in the summer. I doubt her feet had ever touched the ground. She must have glided on the air. She promises you romance that's pure, mysterious, and seductive yet deadly. In return, she wants to fall in love madly. Emma Stone is mystery. She is a kind of girl who doesn't tell you what she wants but knows what she wants. The minute you try to figure her out, you find yourself falling head over heels in love with her eyes. They are like 2,000,000 days and 2 nights. Not only they make you so high but you actually forget to breathe. Kate, you sound like you are actually head over heels in love with her. Adrian, I saw her in Help. I thought she was amazing. Kate, she is irresistible. Adrian, I actually wrote The Assassination of a King starring Emma Stone. Kate, what is it about? Adrian, she plays a girl named Emily, a graduate student at the University of Los Angeles, California in political science. She's working on her master. Her thesis is the assassination of Martin Luther King. Emily drives to Birmingham, Alabama with Wyatt and Mia, 2 documentary filmmakers. They are graduate students at the UCLA as well. They are discussing all kinds of conspiracy theories that might have led to the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. They arrive Birmingham in Alabama. They visit the hotel where Martin Luther King was shot. They question a couple of scholars and people who are still alive during the assassination. Later, while doing her research on the assassination of Martin Luther King, Emily meets a young man named Gabriel. He is African American. She is attracted to him. She finds out he is a graduate student at the University of Alabama in African American study. He is in middle of writing book on Martin Luther King's life. He asks her out dinner. She accepts. Gabriel picks her up with his 1968 Vantage Cadillac. They have dinner at a romantic restaurant. They take a walk talking about the assassination. One thing leads to another. They kiss and make love. In the meantime, we travel back in 60s and meet the director of CIA James played by George Clooney and an agent named Mark played by Matt Damon at Fort Meade, Maryland. James tells Mark that Martin Luther King is a direct threat to national security. He must be dealt with as soon as possible. Mark is assigned to carry out Operation King Copra. It's the assassination of Martin Luther King. Mark takes the assignment and begins to work on strategy. He looks at NSA database and picks 10 criminals that he can brainwash easily. Mark evaluates each one of them and picks Osborne. He is going to use him for a scapegoat. Mark and Osborne meet. Mark promises Osborne a six-figure job with CIA and convinces him to kill Martin Luther King. In the present time, Emily continues to work on her thesis on the assassination of the king. She comes to the conclusion that Osborne didn't kill Martin Luther King. If Osborne didn't kill him, so who killed Dr. King? She takes Gabriel's Vantage Cadillac and drives in the street of Birmingham. Miraculously, Emily finds herself in 1968 during the civil rights movement. She doesn't know what is going on. She sees a couple of interesting figures, including Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. himself. Emily tries to warn Martin. But he tells her they will always try to kill him. It's the life that he chose for himself. Jesus died for our sins. He can't stop destiny what God has created for him. She quickly turns her focus on the killer, comes to Birmingham police station and informs them how she just came from the future. Someone is going to kill Martin Luther King in 3 days. They think she is crazy. Yet surprisingly, she meets a young officer named Gabriel, who looks exactly like Gabriel 1. Gabriel 2 believes her story. First, they try to track down Osborne. But Emma falls asleep while they are driving. As she wakes up, she finds herself back in the present time with Gabriel 1. She doesn't know what is happening, tries to explain to him, tells him she met Martin Luther King Jr. and had talked to him in person. Gabriel 1 thinks it's a dream. She tells him it's not a dream. He tells her sometimes dreams feels real. She says never mind. Emily thinks nobody will believe her. Instead she asks him where they are going. He tells her to meet his parent in Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. Emily meets Gabriel's parent in Nashville. Gabriel and Emily have dinner with Gabriel's family. They discuss about the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. here and there. That night, Emily and Gabriel come to a blues bar, listen to blues, dance, and kiss. They then take a walk in the street of Music City talking about the assassination. He tells her everything happens for a reason. They kiss, come home and make love in round candlelight. The next morning, she takes Gabriel's car, drives back to Alabama, finds herself back in 1968, and gathers all kinds of information. Later, Emily tracks down Osborne in Atlanta, Georgia. She tries to tell him that they are using him as a scapegoat. He would be convicted and spent a lot of years in prison. But he says he doesn't know what she is talking about. He thinks it is a test by CIA to see if he's up to the task, and walks away. Yet before he leaves, she tricks Osborne into revealing the man who hired him. He tells her his name is William. Using a public phone, she calls Gabriel 2, the cop, and tells him she has the name of the killer. It's William. He agrees to meet her at a local bar in Atlanta. Later, while waiting for Gabriel at a bar, Mark approaches her and introduces himself as Joseph. He uses various names throughout the movie. Mark asks her if he can buy her a drink. Emily tells him she doesn't want to be bothered. She is waiting for a company. Mark doesn't know who she is. He seduces her. She thinks he is quite charming. He buys her a scotch. They strike up a conversation. She gets excited. They end up discussing about Martin Luther King Jr. She tells him how the government is going to assassinate Dr. Martin Luther King and all kinds of conspiracy theories. Then a woman named Sarah approaches Mark, has a little bit alcohol in her system. She is not really drunk, but excited like Melissa McCarthy in A Good Day. Sarah says, "Hi Mark McKee. Do you remember me? I am Sarah O'Neill. We went to St. John High School together in Boston." He tells her, "I have never seen you in my life. Just leave me alone, bitch." Sarah is embarrassed and walks away. Matt doesn't want his cover to be exposed. Emily is scared of him a little bit. Mark tells Emily he hates it when people just walk up to him and introduce themselves without getting their facts straight. It gets on his nerves. But he quickly plays it nice. He tells Emily he just doesn't want anyone to interrupt them, even God in heaven, regardless of what it is. You know, she might have fallen from the sky, and God wants her back. Heaven feels empty without her. He won't allow the mighty Lord to take her away, even applies first aid on her knee, which she might have injured when she fell from the sky. Emily smiles in beauty and can't help but loosen up. In the meantime, despite the fact Gabriel too is an officer of the law, Alabama State Police pull him over. They ask him what he was doing with that white girl, Emily. He tells them it's none of their business. She is just a friend. One of cops takes out his shotgun and fires at Gabriel through the front window. Gabriel is hit in the upper chest. He steps on the gas, runs over the state troopers and drives into the river while trying to escape. The car begins to sink. The cops fire at him as the car continues to sink in the river. They think Gabriel is dead and leave. Gabriel swims under the water and comes out the other side of the river but falls unconscious. At the bar, Emily looks at her watch and figures out Gabriel is not going to show up, knows something happened to him, excuses Mark and leaves the bar. She gets in her car and drives to Birmingham. Then out of nowhere comes Mark and hits her behind. Emily is in trouble. Matt tries to drive her out of the road, hits her a couple of times and succeeds like bingo. Emily's car falls down the cliff. She opens the door, jumps out of the car, rolls down the dirt and escapes just before the car crashes and explodes. Matt thinks she is dead. He drives away. Emily is unconscious. She might have hit a rock as she jumped out of the car. We are not sure. Later, when she opens her eyes, she finds herself at the hospital in Atlanta, present day. She is told that she fell asleep while driving and drove off the road. She is lucky to be alive. There was a car that happened to be driving behind her and called 911. The man walks into room. Surprisingly, the man looks exactly like Mark. He introduces himself as Kurt Connor. She doesn't know what is going on. She thinks her mind is playing tricks on her. Kurt asks her how she is doing. But she tells him she doesn't want to talk to him and asks him to leave her alone. Kurt, who is confused, leaves. Meanwhile, Gabriel 1 comes to the hospital to see her. She tells him everything. Gabriel 1 believes her. Later, they discharge her. Gabriel 1 and Emily cook. They have dinner and make love. Emily, who is obsessed with the case, gets up in the middle of the night and checks the name William and Joseph in the internet. She finds nothing. But when she checks Mark McKee, she finds his profile. He works for CIA. Emily discovers Mark lives in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, drives south and comes to his house to have few words with him in Fort Lauderdale. He invites her inside. It seems he remembers her a little bit, but he is 89 years old man. He has suffered from a couple of stroke, memory loss, and Alzheimer's disease. Mark has a grandson, Roger. He introduces her to Roger. Emily feels a little bit awkward bringing the past, excuses them, turns around and walks away, yet, she waits in her car till they leave. Minutes later, they get in their car and drive away. She breaks into their house and looks for information that might help her solving the case. She finds a very important document, the original King Copper operation. In flashback, Mark stands next to the fireplace, holding the file. He thinks about burning it. He is supposed to burn it but keeps it for unknown reason. Present day, Emily takes the file with her and begins to drive back to Birmingham, Alabama. Emily finds herself in 1968 mysteriously. She comes to Birmingham police station to see Gabriel too. She is told Gabriel is in hospital. He was shot in the upper chest. She comes to the University of Alabama hospital to visit him. The doctors have removed the bullet from his upper chest. He is in intensive care but stable condition. In the meantime, she finds out today is the day they are going to kill the king. She gives Gabriel 2 a kiss on the lips while he is sleeping unconscious. She leaves the hospital and drives to Birmingham. She tries to warn Dr. Martin Luther King again, shows him the document King Copper that was signed by George, the head of CIA. Dr. Martin Luther King tells Emily that is just a piece of paper. A lot of people's dreams depend on freedom, which he stands for. She tries to show the file to his bodyguards, including a man named Paul. He looks at the file. Paul makes a call. He then takes out a lighter, burns the document in front of her, and asks her to leave. Paul works for CIA. He is told to keep his eyes on Dr. Martin Luther King. He watches her leave and returns back to Dr. Martin Luther King. Emily sits in her car and thinks her next move. Mark then comes out of nowhere, opens the door without a warning, sits in her car, points his gun at Emily and asks her to drive down the street. Emily drives in the street of Birmingham slowly. Mark explains to her why the government wants Martin Luther King dead. He tells her that Martin Luther is a communist. He's sponsored by Russian government. Emily knows it's a lie. She doesn't want to hear it. She speeds down the street, turns her wheel and crashes into oncoming car. The gun falls out of Mark's hand. He hits his head against the glass. The car is smoking. Mark falls unconscious. Emily gets out of the car, runs back to the hotel to save Martin Luther King Jr. She is near the hotel, then hears a gunshot, and sees his bodyguards pointing at where the shot is fired. Emily knows it is too late, sees Martin Luther Jr. lying on the floor. His bodyguards try to aid him. The paramedics take Martin Luther Jr. to University of Alabama Hospital. He is pronounced dead. Emily comes to the funeral, pays her respect, then comes to the University of Alabama Hospital and visits Gabriel too, who is recovering from the gunshot wound. She wishes him good luck, kisses him French as the Alabama cops, who comes to ask him few questions, watch. Emily returns to the present naturally, finishes her thesis and submits her theory. She gets her master degree, engaged with Gabriel I, and later, they get married in a beautiful wedding ceremony. She writes her first novel, The Assassination of the King. At a book signing event, 74-years-old man, Gabriel II, comes to the event and asks her to sign. He doesn't tell her who he is. However, Emily knows who he is right away, and greets him with joy. They hug affectionately. Tears fills her eyes and falls down by her cheeks. She introduces him to Gabriel I, her husband. Later at the reception, Gabriel II gives her the bullet that he was shot with as a souvenir and walks away. Emily and Gabriel dance slow and kiss intimately. The end. Kate, that's a very interesting story.